been a consultant and a member of the Cardano blockchain. So I'll be coordinating affairs actively. And I want to welcome you to this Cardano Summit 2021. It says the world comes together on Cardano. You can see that we are all from different areas and countries, but we are together because of Cardano. So it means it's a good thing. And I get a few people to introduce themselves, like I've done, what you do, where you come from.
I'm Cambrian from Ghana languages.
I'm Untitled Chapter from Telecom. I'm a teacher.
All the way from Telecom. Telecom is in the Bro Ahafo region.
Ladies and know the name from 80 Kids. My name is Aaron. I live here in Accra, and I like that.
I'm Constance from UDS, WA campus.
WA is in the Upper West region, which is about 12 hours from Accra. Thank you.
Hello, my name is George. I'm from Spain. I live in Accra.
Spain, thank you.
Hello, my name is Henry. I'm also from Spain. I live in Accra.
Hello, my name is Adriana Anaba from Telecom campus.
My name is Guy Arnaud. I'm from Côte d'Ivoire. I work with centralized finance.
Côte d'Ivoire.
Hello, my name is Asian Sylvester. I'm from Accra. I work at Parametric.
Hey, Accra, there is 5 hours from here, right?
Benjamin Rockett from Awushi.
I'm Genevieve from Ghana Communication Technology University.
Okay, from Ghana Communication Technology University. I'm from that.
Hello, everyone. I'm Kokuzi Abenifo from Choco. I'm also a tutor.
I'm a Shankwashi from Atlanta, a student of the ITI. My name is Moses Fitzman. I'm an Institute of ITT Professional Information Student of ITK.
Hi, I'm Kwashi James from Atlanta, schooling at Brooklyn University. I'm Bismarck Norte from Tuna.
My name is Telecom.
My name is Agri. I work with professional analysis.
My name is Sarah, and I run a startup.
Okay, I'm Bismarck, and I'm from Accra.
My name is Sophie Joseph. I'm from Adan, Radio Adan.
Okay, I'm from Kumset. I'm a little bit of a Yeah, I'm Nicholas. I'm from Nabadi.
And I'm Turi from Kaswa.
I'm Mobe from Apam, Central.
All right, thank you all for your brief introduction. And please take care of your bags and every other property. So, because we are not responsible for any kind of loss. So, thank you. At this moment, I will introduce Mrs. Efia Owusu, who is the country manager for WADA. WADA is the one is for Cardano in Ghana. So, Mrs. Efia Owusu, come and give us the welcome address and tell us why we should be in Cardano.
Hello. Can you hear me? Okay. Good afternoon again and welcome. As you said, I'm Efia Owusu, the country lead for WADA. And currently, we are about 7 coordinating the affairs in WADA here. We have a few here. Later, they would introduce themselves and tell you what they are doing with WADA. I'll give you a brief presentation on what we are doing, what WADA is about, and how WADA is connected to Cardano. Why WADA? And when we say why WADA, we look at the current situation all over the place. The corruption, the forgery, fake certificates. I've been seeing this post online on Facebook, and I wonder why that guy is not arrested. If you want fake certificate, if you want to get certificate with good grades, contact this number. Every day I see that thing, and I'm so worried. Counterfeits, lack of capital for young guys who have ideas that they can actually do something. Difficulty in setting up your own record system, everything is in a mess. Everything is in a mess, not just in Ghana, but all over. So, what is WADA trying to do? What we are trying to do is to bring resources together to unlock the potential of Africa as well as diaspora. In the first place, what is WADA? Initially we were called West Africa Decentralized Alliance because the plan was to work just in West Africa. But now we are saying Africa, not just West Africa, but Africa and diaspora. And how are we going to do this? We are going to do this through distributed ledger technology, artificial intelligence, and automation. These are maybe big words to some people. But all that I'll tell you is keep on following WADA. Because I think this is our 3rd conference. And we're going to keep on educating people on how those things can alleviate them from whatever situation they find themselves. So, in simple, WADA is to give voice and access to people of African heritage. That's what we are here to do. So that's the pillars of Africa, the pillars of WADA, to help with infrastructure, to educate, the creation of the apps, to help people to really achieve what they want to do. And some of the things, the way we are going to do this is to have hubs around. Right now in Ghana, we have here, we are trying to get one in Kumasi. As I'm talking to you currently, there's another summit ongoing in Kumasi. And gradually, we are trying to get people to manage other regions. But aside Ghana, you can find us in Cameroon, you can find us in Senegal. Okay, at the end of the day, the rest is there. So this is what we are doing. We want to spread education and other resources throughout. This is, when I say distributed ledger, it comes to blockchain line. So we are going to do all these things through the blockchain system. Can you get the next one? So, WADA has identified the following resources as being critical to the success of our local hubs: physical and virtual space. The physical space, first of all, in Ghana, or WADA in the whole, we have an office space in Westlands, which the address you will see. We have a website. The physical space, the virtual space, is we having programs. Most of the first two programs that we did most online. There were a few in-house people, but this one wanted to put face to face to people, to see the people that we are dealing with. That's why this summit, and especially the Cardano summit, gave us an opportunity to see the people that we are dealing with. And then we are praying that we can get, most often, working with blockchain, you need a high-speed internet. So these are some of the things that we want to introduce: computers, reoccurring events. This is not the first one. As I said, what I just started about 6 months ago, but this is our third major event that we are doing: training, education, community outreach, and events that would help us to better our lives. So the things that we do: education, training, consulting. If you consult us and you have something that you want us to help you do, especially proposal writing, so that you can assess the Cardano Catalyst protocol. These are some of the things we also do. The last conference that we did was mostly to train people to assess Catalyst protocol, network outreach. So what they're saying is to become the premier provider of technology and tools for special change on the African continent and in the diaspora as well. We have, as I said, we have the hubs in Ghana, Cameroon, DRC. DRC is also having this summit. The Africa, it's Ghana, DRC, and then the Kumasi, that Cardano gave us permission to host this summit. So the summit is also going on. Ivory Coast knows, we have our hubs in those countries. Detroit is where I would say our semi-headquarters, because the people behind WADA are in Detroit. Okay. So currently, WADA is growing, and we are into partnership with Cardano community. Because why Cardano? I know most of you are already into Cardano. So why Cardano? We are working more with Cardano blockchain protocol because it's more African biased than the others. It's also a third generational blockchain. I don't know if you understand when I say a third generational blockchain. I'll just give you a gist of it. When I say Bitcoin is the first generational. Bitcoin came first. So it's a little bit difficult and a little bit into it. And then Ethereum came second. So Ethereum is second generational. Then Cardano. Cardano is more understanding and more friendly. That's why WADA is into Cardano. That's why we deal with Cardano. And then again, they have a treasury to help develop ideas. The Catalyst protocol, which my colleague will talk about here. If you have ideas that you want to develop, there's that room to develop those ideas. So as you follow WADA, you get to know more. I know people are already in Cardano, I don't know what they are doing, but as you follow WADA, you get to know more about Cardano, blockchain, and Catalyst programs. Yes, initially, if you look carefully at the first slides, we had a logo there. But now, as I said, when we started, we were concentrating on West Africa. So that's the name, that's why we started West Africa Decentralized Alliance. But then we realized that it's not only West Africa that have issues. So now we are rebranding from just West Africa to Africa and diaspora. So now it's just WADA. We are now just WADA with a change, Nana, with a change logo. WADA. So that is where our address is, where that's our physical location. And then, as I said, we are working with the Cardano platform. So if you want to know more, you can follow us. That's our office. Thank you. If you have any questions, I'm ready to take it. My colleagues here can also help me. Any questions? Did you raise your hand?
Hi, thank you. I think I saw something about dApps, helping create dApps. Here. How many have you helped create? Is there anyone running? How does it work? What's it about?
We've just opened a little bit of what we are doing. The time here won't allow me to go into those things. But then if you really want to understand, please follow WADA. We're going to do a number of conferences. As I said, this is the first education, this is the third one. We've already done 2 educational conferences. So please follow WADA, and then things will fall in place. We are going to take each one as a whole topic and do outreach on them. Any other question?
So thank you very much for your presentation. I'm just want to ask what kind of your physical space that you have in Westland, what kind of place it is, and what's the access policy for it?
What kind of?
So I've seen a hub and you mentioned an office, so I'm just wanted to find out.
Oh, it's an office space where you can come in there. There's internet. You can come in there to work if you want to know more about WADA, Cardano, Catalyst, blockchain, and those things.
And what's the access policy that it's like? You pay time, membership, everything.
It's what?
How does one get to access the place?
The address is there. It's easy. It's on the main road. Is that what you are saying?
He's asking if you want to access the place, how do you get to the place? Do you register or anything?
Yeah, you just have to be a member, or you just walk in. We want to educate everybody. We want to people. It's not like you have to pay a fee or no. It's not like that. You just walk into the office. Any assistance that we can offer you, we will. If there are no more questions, listen.
Thank you. I'm from Central Region. This is the first time I'm hearing about WADA in Cardano. So I would like to find out, aside Greater Accra, are you in any other regions?
Actually, we would love to. So if you can be our contact in Central Region, we would love to move to the other places. We want to get a lot of people involved as much as possible. So if you have a youth group, if you have a school group or whatever, we are ready to partner with you.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. Please, you said something about the current situation we are having now. Talk about corruption, forgery, fake certificates, and stuff. I want to find out how WADA will fight corruption, or what is WADA going to do to solve the current situation in terms of corruption.
Thank you. We are not going to fight corruption like the way Fix the Country is doing. We are not going to fight corruption like the way all those groups are doing. We are just introducing the distributed ledger system, blockchain. And when you deal with blockchain, you realize that most of these things most of the corruptions, most of the forgery thing. If certificates are on blockchain, how can you say that I should come to you for you to change my results for me? Cannot be done. My husband is a lecturer. One of his students last week came to his office. Apparently, he went to the MIS office for them to change her results for her. And her results is missing. So now he comes to his office, he doesn't know what to say, because my husband won't change your results for you, no matter what you do to him. So if all those things, we understand that the blockchain system and everything is going through there, and the Cardano system, this is what we are talking about. We are not going to fight, anyone, but if we are able to, about 2-3 months ago, I heard Ghana was going to launch the ECD. If this thing is really going to happen, nobody will be able to undercut, and I'm giving you a contract, you have to give me this. Actually, they demand the money even first before they give you the contract, whether you have the money to pay or not. Look at what happened to the woman that took, I don't know whether you've seen the video that has gone viral. The woman who went to the bank and people followed her at traffic lights, motorbikes here and there. One got down with a pistol, opened her door, took all the money he's taking. If we are into blockchain, we are doing all transacting all these things online and everything. We're not going for any money for anybody to come and take the money from you. So that's how WADA is going to work. It's not fix the country, whatever, no. We want people to understand the system, because it's a system. And if we do understand it and appreciate it, it will work.
I think some of us here are new to some of the terms you are using, like blockchain, whatsoever. So for somebody like me to really understand what you are saying, I need to understand what the blockchain is about. Then maybe that will make things a little bit easier
for you. Yes, that's why we are saying that follow us. All that we want to do is to educate people. That there's going to be a section on blockchain actually, but to understand it more, because for instance, I know somebody, a whole lot of things, new ideas, things that are coming up day in and day out. So you have to keep on being abreast with the system. Things keep changing every day. AI, things keep changing. So that's what I'm trying to do, to educate us, especially the youth, for us to take up the new ideas that are coming up. So like I said, there's another person going to talk about blockchain, somebody's going to talk about cryptocurrency. I know a lot of people, when they hear cryptocurrency, oh, this is fake, this is, how do you call that boy, Sakawa, and those things. But no. That's why they are always going ahead of us. We should actually understand what it's about, and then we will appreciate how it can help the system. So please don't be afraid. You keep following WADA, the things that we are doing. You've registered, we'll keep you in our loop. And when there are things, activities going on, you can come in. As I said, the office too is there. You can come over and learn more. I think I'll have to give room to the next speaker. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mrs. Sophia, for your great presentation. Yeah, we'll call on Nana Safo to come and tell us about what Project Catalyst is. Like Sophia said, you need to go online, read more about it, and you'll get the whole thing. When I started, it was confusing. But within a few days of really learning it, going online and all that, I understood it. So definitely you will understand it. Okay? So Nana Sako, we call on you to come and tell us about Project Catalyst.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everybody. All right, so my name is Nana Safo, and I am the University Ambassador for West Africa Decentralized Alliance, that's WADA. Okay, so now we are rebranding, so we just say WADA, so don't say West Africa Decentralized Alliance. All right, so I'm here to present on the Cardano Project Catalyst. I understand my senior colleague made mention of catalyst, and probably some of you've not heard it before. You have no idea about the term itself, so you didn't really understand. But I'm here to take you through, not detailed, but just the basics for you to get a fair knowledge about it. To get the detailed information, as time goes by, we'll be holding on seminars, summits, sessions. So if you attend, you'll get to know more about them. You understand? Good. So I'll just start, and then we'll get going. Rich. Sorry, technical problems. Okay, so when you say project catalyst, what does it actually mean? I've been in the field for some time now, and I've learned a lot. Initially, when I joined, and I've not really known anything about it. Like, I didn't know anything before I joined, you understand? To get something, you need to start. It doesn't matter whether you have a knowledge or you don't have it, you need to start. All right? So I just took it upon myself that, okay, let me just give this thing a try. So I did, and now I can say boldly that I've learned a lot, which has actually helped me in improvement, personal improvement. Right? So everybody here, if you also take the opportunity to be a catalyst, I can tell you that you can also get some improvement. Not just knowledge, but physical and monetary aspect and everything, you understand? Okay, so at the end of this presentation, I expect that everybody here should get a fair knowledge about the whole project catalyst. What it actually is, what it entails, what you can do with it, what you can also get out of it. That is what I expect everybody to have over here. Okay, because at the end of the day, I'm going to give room for some few questions and answers, right? So we shall jump on. So when we say project catalyst, as I said earlier, what is it? What does it mean? It's a series of experiments. We use the term experiment in Cardano because whatever we are doing now is an experiment. Okay, even you being here right now, the event going on now is an experiment. We are doing this because we want to know what it actually looks like, what the reality of it is. So that is what we mean by experimenting catalyst. Okay, so a series of experiments which seeks to generate the highest level of community innovations. We are much enthused about innovations. Why innovations? Every country needs innovations. Specifically Africa, we need innovations. We need to be innovative enough. But where is the innovative mindset? We don't know where they are because people have this mindset, but they don't have the money to bring it out. Am I lying? I might be here, I have an idea, okay, to put out a technology which will actually help. But the problem is I don't have money. So how do I set it up? Probably there's nobody coming in to fund me as well. How do I set it up? I don't have anybody, so I just let it go. Community has no use of me. There's no importance of me in the community. But Project Catalyst is giving you
recording in progress.
It is giving you the power, right, to bring out this idea of yours to the public, to make it useful, so that the community can also benefit from you as an individual. Not all of us might have enough money to, put up projects and do like charity things to help the community. No. But some of us, we have the ideas. Deep within us, we are very innovative. But the problem is, there is no money, there is no funding, there is no support. That is where Project Catalyst sets in. That is where Cardano sets in. So Bitcoin, for instance, came in as the first generation, but it didn't have this particular idea. Ethereum followed up, but with Ethereum, I think it had the mindset, but the integration was a little bit of a problem. You understand? Now Cardano has sat down, made vigorous analysis, and came up with this decision of Project Catalyst, which is very awesome, to be honest with you. Very, very awesome. So Catalyst is bringing on-chain governance to the Cardano blockchain. Yes, governance to the Cardano blockchain. Somebody say, why governance? There's a big problem when it comes to governance. Everything about government is centralized. Am I lying? Everything about the government is centralized. So if, for instance, the Minister of Education says, next week no schooling, automatically no schooling, right? That is how it goes. If Minister of Finance says close all banks will close. So government itself is centralized. That is why we are not developing as a continent. That is why we are not developing as a world. But you and I, we have the responsibility of making the world a better place for us. Because the Creator has already created it. He has given us the power to use whatever is in it to make it better. But how? That is where Cardano sets in. That is where Project Catalyst sets in. Okay, so we are bringing governance on the Cardano blockchain by allowing the community to self-determine priorities for growth. So we have a community actually. Project Catalyst has a community. I am part of the community. Alright? So everybody here also has a chance of becoming part of the community. And you have a specific role to play. It is you who will choose. It is you who will choose. So at the end of the day, I can bring up a proposal, an idea that, for instance, I have this particular idea of mine that I'm working very hard to implement it. If you look around, there are so many companies operating in Ghana now. For instance, let's take the pure water companies, all right? Pure water companies. There are so many of them operating. You buy a sachet of water, and then you look around it, there is something called FDB, WT, blah, blah, blah. Meaning that it has been verified by the Food and Drug, right? But the question is, how sure are you that water is verified? Do you have any idea? The answer is no. Some of this water, you taste it and you feel like, is this really coming from that place? You understand? You have no idea. So you take it, you feel, or you become sick and you can't trace anything, right? So I have this idea that I need to put an end to this, but how? Initially, I had no knowledge. I didn't know how I would do it until I met Project Catalyst. Because the community has a lot of marvelous people, a lot of great people, people with great intelligence. You understand? So you might probably also be having an idea, but you don't know where to implement it. You don't have the money to implement it. Project Catalyst is here for you. So I bring up this idea on board. You, as a community member, you have the right, okay, you have the opportunity to make an assessment of this particular idea. So this idea, when we implement it, is it going to help? You just make this assessment, and then after you vote, you have people go vote, they also vote on the idea that we should implement it to help. Then I get my funding from there, and I do my project. That is all. Simple as that. Okay. So it also lets participants deploy funding proposals which tackle challenges and capitalize on opportunities that arise in the life cycle of Cardano. You know, every community needs to grow. Every organization needs to grow. So whilst working on our communities, our individual communities, at the same time, we are working on growing Cardano. That is the main reason why we are all here today. Because WADA has the agenda of promoting Cardano. That is why we are all here. If not for WADA, nobody will be here today, to be honest. So as WADA is working on improving the communities, at the same time, it is working on developing or growing the market of Cardano. And that is also something the Project Catalyst team also does. Okay? So the question is, how do we go about all of this? I've said a lot, but how? How do we go about it? So to do this, Project Catalyst is divided into series of funds. When I say funds, we have Fund 1, Fund 2, Fund 3, Fund 4, Fund 5. Currently, Fund 6 is ongoing. Okay, and in every fund, what we do is people come on board with their ideas in the form of a proposal. Then we have people called community advisors. They will make assessment of these proposals. All right, and then we have some people and then the voters will come. The power lies in the voters. So if I put that this proposal is going to help me, or it is going to help the community, then Cardano will give the power to me. And then the family will $27,000, $30,000, $100,000. on a kind of approach you have to, implement. Okay, so it's so simple as that. The proposal will not be a community refinement process, just as I said earlier on. Go to the CA stage, the BCA stage, the voting stage, and then get funding, and then you start implementing your proposal. Okay, but bear in mind there will be strict monitoring as well for accountability sake. Okay. So since 2020, about 50%, okay, Cardano itself and data analysis itself has experienced a growth of 50% since 2020. Because we started in May, and currently September, we are actually on Fund 6, which is very interesting. Very interesting. And after this funding, we will have about 100 proposals being funded and implemented. So maybe you have not seen some in Ghana yet. It means no Ghanaian has brought forward a proposal yet. But trust me, WADA was introduced by a Ghanaian. So WADA, for instance, is a very big example of what I'm talking about. Okay, but for instance, let's say physical mathematics or whatever. You might have not seen, but it means no Ghanaian, nobody from Ghana has brought up an idea yet. But the question is, do you have an idea that you want to do? I know most of it do. So project catalyst have opportunity for it. So today there are so many opportunities. Now you have to choose. Alright? You have to choose. So these are the opportunities I was talking about. You can be a community advisor, a CA. Personally, I'm a CA advisor. I'm also a veteran advisor, which is like CA at the time. Alright? And I'm yet to become a proposer as well. I've said it already now. I've said one of my proposals already. Okay. So you can become a community advisor, you can become a proposer, you can also become a voter. Alright? And all of these comes with rewards. So at Cardano, no task is free. If you take a task upon yourself, you get rewarded for it. Provided you do it very well, you deliver very well, you get rewarded. That is how it is. So I'll say, who is a proposer? If you look at my girlfriend over there, she has a certain bulb, close to her mind. It means she has an idea, right? Immediately you see a bulb, it means an idea, or yes. So my girlfriend has an idea. My girlfriend is a proposer. But what is her role? Her role is simple. She has an idea. She has no idea where she can go to get funding, where she can get support to make this idea a reality. Okay, so she came across Cardano probably through me, and then I introduced her to Project Catalyst. Now, all she has to do is to draft her idea into a proposal. And with the drafting, my senior colleague made mention that WADA is in to help you draft your idea into a proposal so that you can submit for funding. Okay, so all she has to do is to draft and then build a team. Just as WADA has a team, she also needs to build a team and then submit it on a Project Catalyst. Then these people will come in. Then these people will come in. Community advisors. Who is a community advisor? Community advisor can be you, it can be me. It is a free role. Proposer can also be you, it can also be me. Okay? But I would advise, before you become a proposer, first of all, be a community advisor. Why am I saying this? The community advisor has a role of assessing proposals. So, as a community advisor, my girlfriend has brought up her idea. It is my duty to make assessment of that particular proposal. And it is based on three key things. One is the impact of that particular proposal. So this proposal, is it going to have a positive impact on the community? Is it going to have a positive impact on the Cardano ecosystem? If all of my answers are yes, then why not? I rate it 5 star. I give a reason why I'm rating it 5 star. Okay. Then 2, this proposal, is it feasible enough to implement? Is it feasible enough? Is there a good team record? If there is no team record, the team members in there, do I have access to them? Can I ask them questions? Like, are they I don't have any relationship with them? Can I relate to them? Can I trust them? Is there any credibility? That is also a question you need to ask yourself. If you are getting your answers to be yes, you can also rate 5 star and give a rationale. But if you are getting answers to be no, you can rate them 4, 3, 2, 1, and then give a rationale for that. A very tangible one, of course. Right? And then the last one that the community advisor does is to assess on the auditability stage. So this proposal, there's enough information in the proposal, but this particular information, can I base on it, can we track the progress of this particular project? If you have to give money out to these people, can we track their progress? Can we make sure that yes, they are working? That is also a question to ask yourself. Based on the information in the proposal, if it is okay for you, you rate, you give your reason. If it is not, you rate, you give your reason. Then you are good. That is the task of a community advisor. Very, very simple. And you are not entitled to make assessment of a particular number of proposals before you get rewards. No. It is just you. You have to take your time, make a very effective assessment. Then you get some rewards. Because if you make about 1,000 assessments and all of them are, sorry to say, beating around the bush, you get nothing. But if you make about, let's say, 1 assessment, all right? Just based on 6, if you're able to make 1 assessment and it is very effective, okay, it is in line with the subject matter, you are getting 53 ADA for free. 53 ADA, you don't have to convert. 53 ADA is enough. Because currently, as it stands, 1 ADA is around $2.4. So you can calculate to yourself 53 ADA times 2.4. How much are you getting? A lot, right? Then you convert it to Ghana cedis, a lot. So that is what we do. Community advisor, that's what we do. It's a very, very cool job. Just have to write your brain a little bit, and then you get money out of it. It's very, very cool. Okay. Now let's look at the last person with the power. A voter. A voter. You know, in Ghana here, you and I hope everyone is above 18 years, right? So we are all voters. We are all deciders. We all have power. But let me ask a question. This particular power that we have, do we actually get benefit out of it? Like we are supposed to get? I don't want to do politics, but do we actually get? Good. But with community advisor, with project catalyst, your vote counts. It counts in the sense that if you vote for a particular project and it is being implemented, you are going to benefit out of it. At the same time, after voting, you get some rewards. So there is no free task in the project catalyst. Whatever you do, you get some rewards out of it, provided you do it very well. Very simple, right? Very, very simple. Okay, so I know I've said a lot. Some of us probably might want to join the catalyst team, might want to become community advisors, proposers, and voters, all right? With the voters, if you want to become a voter, let me say this, you need to have, currently, you need to have not less than 500 ADA in your account, your Euro account, okay? A colleague will come and take you through what a Euro account is and how you can manipulate it, all right? But to become a voter, you need to have not less than 500 ADA. So I don't know if, I'm sure there are millionaires here, so people can do that here. And at the end of the day, you get rewards out of it also. Okay. So you just log on to www.cardano.ideascale.com and then you begin your registration process over there. Then you can become a catalyst, as I also was a catalyst. I'll actually be glad if by the close of the day, I look into my database and I have a lot of people coming right from this summit, okay, joining me as catalyst. Because there are a lot of sessions that we actually need to hold. I need to take you through being an effective community advisor. But I don't have enough time right now. I need to take you through being a very good proposer. I don't have enough time right now, okay? And whatever I know, somebody knows much better than I do. So it is good being here. I appreciate your time. But what I would say is, whenever we are organizing another event, please do make sure that you are showing up, because it is all about education, education, education. Okay, it's all about education, education, education. So create an account with the Catalyst community, all right, and then become part of this. Let's learn and innovate together, because there are so many things that we need to innovate. There are so many things. You look at the streets of Accra, Kaswa, Tema, Kumasi. There are so many people, like kind of street hawkers, all right? There are so many street hawkers. There are so many kind people. But the thing is, these people, they don't have access to this information, do they? They don't have access, right? But you have the access. It means you have power. What do you have to do? You need to use this power, implement it, so that these people can also benefit out of it. There's something called NFT. NFT, non-fungible tokens. I'm not here to talk about that, but I'm just giving you a gist of it. If you have NFT, you can actually do a lot. If you have that particular knowledge, you can do a lot in terms of helping the community. If you know how to operate a stake pool is a different thing. Right? And I'll just give a shout out to one very good stake pool operator. It's called Jacob, and the stake pool name is Smiles on Africa, a very good one, of course. What it does is, there are so many young people around, okay? They don't have access to health insurance, they don't have the money to register. So what he does is, he registers them for free. And it's a whole new thing. I'm not here to talk about that one, okay? But please, do well to join Project Catalyst, and then, together, we all can make Ghana a better place to live. Thank you very much. If you have any question, please raise your hand. The microphone will come to you, then you ask your question and provide your answer. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Please, are you a Ghanaian?
Yes, I am.
Okay, thank you. During your presentation, I wanted to ask a question, but you answered by saying that no Ghanaian have received any fund yet. And the reason you gave is that no Ghanaian has made any proposal yet. And you also said WADA started from Ghana. And so I'm a bit confused why no Ghanaian has made any proposal yet, and starting from here. So I want to know why. Is it that the funders or the originators of this do not do any education? Because you yourself, you have cited a lot of challenges. Is it that the funds are not available? Please, I'm a bit confused. If you can say something about that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for your question. I might mention that in Ghana, if you look around, you might probably not see projects going on, all right? Simply because maybe somebody from Ghana has not sent a proposal to the Catalyst team yet, and maybe gotten funding or not. But then I also made mention that WADA, right, was initiated by a Ghanaian. She's called Madam Mercy that you mentioned, right? So, but she's not based in Ghana here, she's outside. She has a team here in Ghana because she's a Ghanaian. She knows some Ghanaian good folks around. That's why she has a team here. If not, it probably would have been outside alone. Maybe later on before it would extend to Ghana here. Okay. So what I mean is there's enough fund. Even in Fund 6 alone, 4 million ADA has been dedicated for funding. So you can make a calculation, 4 million ADA dedicated for funding. But the problem is, maybe Ghanaians didn't get the information as early as some other countries did. 2, probably they had the information, but going about it was a little bit of a challenge. All right. 3, they just didn't care, they ignored. But the thing is, you and I, we are here today. I saw this, let me say, I got this opportunity some time ago, not too long ago, right? Just within this year. And I decided to join. Okay? So, as I'm building myself, I'm very much confident that very soon I'll be submitting a proposal of which I will get funded. Okay? So, that is basically how it is.
Yeah, just to add to what he said, WADA has actually had funding from Project Catalyst. We had funding in Fund 3, we had funding in Fund 4, we had funding in Fund 5. Maybe he means that Ghanaians are not involved in WADA. As she said, Mercy started WADA from out there. So the first funding, Fund 3, we did educational outreach program. Fund 4, the same thing. The conference that we had, and it's not WADA, it's not just Ghana, but as WADA, we've had at least 4 or 5 fundings from Catalyst Project.
Sure. So, are you okay now? Great.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Earlier you mentioned that you would advise that people should be a community advisor before being a proposer.
That's true.
And you also explained that the job of the community advisor is to kind of like vet and like try and understand what people are proposing, right?
Access. Use the term access.
Okay. So then, going to my main question, what qualifies someone as a community advisor? Because for you to do that, you have to have an understanding of the entire system. So what do I need to be, or what do I need to have to qualify as a community advisor?
Okay, thank you very much. So basically, you need to have, all you need to have is your strong internet connection, a mobile phone, a laptop, or a computer, all right? You don't really need to have a certain level of knowledge before you can become a community advisor, but you need to be able to read and understand English, as well as write English. That is the basic requirement you will need to have as an individual, because you are not going to ask you to provide some documents before you allow you to become a community advisor. Okay, so if you just look at yourself, I can read this thing, I can understand, I can digest it, I can also produce something out of it. You are a good community advisor already. All you have to do is to go by the principles. Okay, you have to go by the principles. That is, go by the impact, the feasibility, and then the auditability level of it.
So I don't really, but don't I need some level of understanding of the Cardano blockchain?
Okay, proposals coming on board are not kind of Cardano blockchain proposals, all right? They are general community problems. As I explained earlier, there's a problem of people being on the street as street hawkers. Okay, so what do I have to do? I can put up, a very nice idea in the whole proposal. I need to get them out of there. But how? That's where Cardano sets in. You understand? So the ideas over there are all general. They might be having some technical words in there. All you have to do is just research around them. They are not too difficult. You understand? But if you get a concept, and the concept is in line with the subject matter, that is a challenge on board. You're a good person to assess. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Sorry, any other question, please? Okay, there's a question here.
I want to know if...
sorry, you can say
okay. It's like the whole catalyst issue is more of community-based than personal. And that is why I want you to stress on, because some people may have personal projects taking it to be part of the the whole catalyst, which it might not function.
Okay, thank you very much for your question. So as you said, it's very true. Cardano is about a community, not about individuals. Cardano is about a community and not the individuals. So if you have individual projects, that one you do it on your own, all right? But if you have an individual project and you know very well that this project has the capacity for catering for the community, of course you can bring it on board. Okay, so let's say for instance, you know that you need to develop an application, and this particular application, you know that it's going to help the community, you can bring it on board. It doesn't matter if your own personal project, provided there is something called community experience or community benefit in there, it's a good proposal. Yeah. Any other question, please? I think I will take the last two questions and then I'll wrap up because time is not on our side.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. So are the stakeholders having a specific project that you need a proposal to streamline to, or you take any form of project?
Thank you very much for your question. Okay, so setting of challenges is also another form of proposal. There's another forum, okay, that provides, proposals the opportunity to bring up challenges they would want to address in the next fund. So, for instance, in Francis right now, there's a section, okay, that if you want, let's say, tackle the challenge of street hawkers, all right, you can bring it on board, and then if it is being voted for, in the next fund, which is Fund 7, we'll have a topic like that, whereby you can put in your proposals. But as we speak now, Fund 6, we are currently in the VCA stage, which is Veteran Community Advisor stage. So you can't bring in any proposal, you can't do any community advisor job, all right? All that is going on right now is the Veteran Community Advisor. That is the reviewer reviewing the reviewer. That is what we are doing now. And afterwards, it's going through the voting stage. Then funding will follow probably middle of November. Okay, funding will follow, and then rewards will follow from there. Yeah. Last question, please.
Okay. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Please, I want to find out if you do skill hunting or job hunting for people with specific talents, so that maybe whatever you find you think it could develop through the community base, then such skills can be imported and then.
Okay, thank you very much. So Cardano is actually for everyone. Project Catalyst is actually for everyone. I know there's a little problem, and the problem is not everybody is hearing about this particular project and everything. Okay, that is why WADA, for instance, we have taken it upon ourselves that in Ghana here, we are going to talk about Cardano so that people will get to hear about it. Then, if you hear about it and you know you have a particular skill, you have an idea that you think can help the community, you can bring it on board. Okay, so Cardano will not come like we are looking for someone who is good at coding. No, Cardano will not do that. But it is you who will hear about Cardano, then you will decide that, okay, I am good at coding, so probably I can code Haskell or Bluetooth. So let me jump on the community and do something for myself. You understand? So I have, talking about this small South Africa guy, he heard about Cardano. He is actually, he didn't even have a broad idea about coding. He used the coder, you understand? But when he saw it, he realized that there's something called stake pool. Stake pool is a broad topic on it, so I'm not here to talk about it. But he saw it and he realized that, okay, he can partner with somebody who is good at coding. Then they can set up something. So he did, and today as we speak now, he's far gone. So if you also have the skill, all right, Cardano will not come out looking for you. But what will happen is you will hear about Cardano, maybe through somebody, through an organization, you hear about Cardano, maybe through online, you hear about Cardano. Immediately you see Cardano, there are so many opportunities in there for you. Just jump in, okay? Have some good chats with some good people, then you can be able to explore yourself and the potential as well. Okay, so I will just advise everybody here, log on to the session, create an account, join the Telegram platforms. Okay, join the Telegram platforms, get engaged in the communication that is going on there, and then out of it, you can be able to bring out what is in you. You can unlock all of your potentials and help build Ghana as a better place for all of us. Thank you very much for your time, and I will leave by passing the mic to my microphone control.
Thank you, Nana, for the great presentation. I myself am a community advisor. Like he said, initially I didn't know what it was, but with studying and all that going online and learning it and just doing it, I'm on my way. Okay, we'll go on to the next presentation from Nathaniel Jamina. He's going to tell us about general blockchain, what it is, and the opportunities that it offers. So, Nana Jamina, can you come and take the mic?
Thank you very much. It's a wonderful afternoon, and we thank all of you for coming here, and also we thank Wada for putting this together, and Cardano as well. I'm here to talk about general blockchain and opportunities. We've heard about blockchain and then the Bitcoin as well, and we also know that there are other coins on the blockchain. Before we talk about the opportunity, you must first understand what blockchain is about and what it is, and the opportunity that is there for us as well. Most of the opportunities have been discussed by Stafford. So I'll add up with the blockchain bit. When we say blockchain, we are looking at a decentralized or a distributed ledger that records the provenance of a digital asset. So the idea of blockchain came into existence in 2008 by one Satoshi Nakamoto. Now, as to whether the person exists or not, it is still a mystery to us in the blockchain industry. Whether there are a group of people using the same name, we don't know. But what we can tell for sure is that we don't need to force people with good ideas, honestly. Good ideas don't force itself to be accepted. And so once it is good and we are seeing the evidence of it, it is flowing. Nobody cares who he even is. Now, when we say a distributed ledger, it's just like a database that records, shares, replicates, or synchronize among members on the network. So we are looking at a group of people. You see that the earlier speakers, when they were presenting, they keep referring to community. It's very important because the whole blockchain is a community-driven thing. If you don't have a community that is backing it, it will not be able to develop. Like we normally say in a democracy, we say that the government was made for the people, right? So, in fact, blockchain is a true definition of democracy. Because without a community, you can't function. Unlike the one we are experiencing, that the leaders can't function without us anyway. Like, okay, so that's on the lighter note. Now, if you want to understand the whole blockchain thing, think of it like a Google document. You know, some of us have used this Google Docs. You can be 4 or 5 people working on a project, and then you create a Google document to work with it. Now, on a Google document, once it is created, you can't recreate it again. The first person who creates it and shares for you, you all work on the same document. And that is what blockchain is. So if you understand how the Google document or Google Doc works, then you have a clear idea of what blockchain is. Now you realize that on a Google document, you share. You can't create a new document, but you can modify what has been created. Everybody has access to it. It's very decentralized to every member on the project that is working on the Google document. Is that clear? So do I have people who have used the Google Doc online? So that I know that what I'm saying is not so abstract. Like, it's a huge technology thing. Are we clear with that one? Okay. Now, you realize that the Google document is very transparent. It records anybody who does something, it records in real time. So if maybe we have Kofi on the project and Kofi comes on it and changes maybe a heading, it will record that Kofi did this at 11 o'clock on this date. It will be there. So that when the team comes back, they know who changed what, who has not changed. That is what blockchain gives. So there's transparency, there's decentralization, and whatever. There's everything good, like good governance, everything with blockchain. But the actual thing is more complicated than the way I've simplified it using the Google. But having that picture alone is enough for you to have a clear understanding of what the entire blockchain thing is and how it works. So if it's going to be durable, it's the efforts of the community members that are on the network or the chain that will put in, that will make the document very uploadable. Now, blockchain is a solution. I always say blockchain is a solution. It has come as a solution to help a lot of problems in our society. First of all, there's a financial system, the traditional one that we all know, the one that is driven by inflations and interest rates and whatnot. And this one also has its own volatility that makes people run away from it. But with that, when we say blockchain, people say the price rises and come down and whatnot. Like, yes, that is true. But that happens because of people's, let me say, own activities, or sometimes you can even say greed or something. It's the people who are on the network that causes that. So if we are like there's profit, someone will say, okay, let me sell a huge volume today. Then when you sell a huge volume, there will be volatility. Those are some of the, so it's the people's interaction that cause the up and down. However, that is at least controlled by them. There's also speculation that also cause. There are even other negative news that even affect Cardano coin and other coin as well. So, like recently, the recent one is about climate change. So they do a whole lot of climate change arguments and whatnot, and you see an electric car taking fuel or being charged from a fuel generated generator. You are taking fuel from there, then you are still talking about climate change. So sometimes it's here and there. So we need to go beyond what we read from the traditional media, honestly, as people. We need to go beyond what we read, because if you just take it what it is, then means you don't understand how the world is even running. If you just take the news as it is, it has been presented, you just take it like that, then you don't understand how it's running. Then it means you can even be a pawn in the middle of the whole thing. That's why when it's you'll be very important when it's 4 years, like that's when you are going to cast election. But on a blockchain, you are always important every day. So you have a decentralized government. The first thing that I said, we like government, everything from the top. When the government said that when the government said there is no school today, everybody will sleep. But one thing that is keeping the blockchain community going is because of the decentralization. There is no central point for maybe FBI to raid and then you have bring down the whole thing. No. Other than that, the world government have come together and have dismantled this whole thing already. Is that not it? You can't control it. So if you crack it down somewhere, it is functioning somewhere. It's very decentralized. That's why nobody controls it. Then we have the transparency in the community. Everything that is happening, if you're on the community, you see everything. If you are voting, you know that there was a vote that was cast and this project won. Purely transparent. Community driven. You have people who are backing, like what we are doing today. We are part of the Cardano community that is going to develop the Cardano coin itself. So these are the activities. It may look small, but in the next 5 years, the quantum of it, you cannot measure the magnitude and the impact that it's going to make. So that is it. Community driven. Then free will. All of us came here at our own free will. We created a value here. The values are the seat you are sitting on. We have created it here, and you have seen value in it. That's why you are sharing your important time with us. So we cherish it very well. Then we have the problem of inflation. Even if our inflation rate as a country is just 2%, it means that in the next 35 years, the price of everything today will double at 2%. And you know that the current inflation rate is not at 2%. Good. So blockchain takes away that. And there's a limited supply. What causes inflation the most is money supply. At any time, without your control, the government can print new money. So we had the Ghana cedi there was a time they said they are printing the 100 CD note, right? Were you consulted? Good. But you can't do that on the blockchain. Once it is launched, they give the maximum supply of maybe Cardano coin that will go in circulating. No other person can add up, not even the CEO of Cardano can add up Cardano can add up to the supply. And so it helps to make or solve the problem of inflation. On the blockchains, we have other stable coins. There are some coins whose value are always $1. So I know people, when they have their when they get money, they just buy stable coin because they know that even if it takes 70 years, their coin's value is still $1, and it helps them a lot. Now, when change is coming, one thing that comes in is the fear factor, because there are people who are benefiting from the rotten system and do not want to change, and there are people who are not benefiting from the rot system and they want the change. Now, this is a picture, an advertisement in 1910, and this is how the electricity we are using today. This is the advertisement that was done against electricity. They said it is going to kill you if you are walking, and then this transformer cables touch you, you die. The bulb can kill you. At that time, kerosene lamp was the king. Kerosene lamp. Today it may look foolish. The same way, in the next 50 years, we come back and they ask, why were those people back then were not adapting Cardano and were not adapting the blockchain technology? What was wrong with them? That was the same thing happening there. At that time, they found a lot of things in kerosene, like kerosene. For your kerosene, you on it, you are going, you can use your lamp, and you get to have a lot of sense. And this is advertisement against the whole electricity. Today, nothing can run without electricity. But the people who existed at the time, they were against it. And there are certain things, that's why we say prosperity is the best job. It's a time that comes to vindicate people. Another example has to do with in the method of medicine, we have malaria. When malaria was killing people, it was only 2 people who were saying it was as a result of mosquito bite. All the entire scientists were saying it was death. So can you imagine how these 2 people will feel? Isolated, like the way we are here. We are thinking, oh, you are telling somebody about blockchain, the person is thinking you are fraud. I mean, you are giving the person the true light. That's what happens sometimes. Opportunities in blockchain, like I said, it's a solution. It can solve a lot of problems. Today, as Ghanaians, we do our various activities, there's money, but we can't buy land. The moment you hear about land, it's not about the price of the land, but your worry is about if indeed you buy, will it still be yours? Litigation issues. You get it? But when like land registration, for instance, on the blockchain, nobody can tamper it. If you sold, it's recorded. Period. You are not the owner, you can't touch it. Sometimes I was even thinking it was only maybe once you register the land at Lands Commission, you are safe. No, you can even register your land, it's still be taken from you. And that's the system. So it comes to solve that. Then transparency in agriculture supply chain. That's also very critical because of what we eat in our body. Now, I'm sure there are a lot of people who are skeptic. If you are those who are skeptic, they question everything. So people who love to know the farmer, when they produce the thing, what pesticide they pour on it, and what. So you can attest when you are using blockchain in this activity. Everything is being recorded. Where it was sold, you have a whole lot of history from one particular product if it is being used. Like I like the example he said earlier on, like the FDA, how you can verify even if you are saying this product is registered. Nowadays, like they do it in the land sector, they want to build, then they themselves write stop work. The land owner himself is building, and he will write on his building stop work, produce permit, then you continue building until the end. Nothing will happen. Because if he doesn't write it, the road will come and write it, so he will write it. So that is that. Then the other one is the financial investment opportunities with the blockchain. There are a lot of investment opportunities on blockchain. You can buy you can exchange, you have like, there's a whole value on it. Cardano, for instance, like, it started like a digital money, okay? But now, people are seeing it more than a digital cash, but as a store of value. Now, can you imagine gold and then let's assume in the near future, maybe Cardano price is $4,000 or $45,000, and it's battling with, because when even Bitcoin started, that's a matter of all blockchain, right? That's the first generation. So it was $2, and at $2 people were still saying it's short. Today they didn't buy it then. Today they can't buy it because it's still adding up to the value. Now imagine you transporting your gold from one location to another. You will need a whole bullion van, armed one, right? Security detail, your journey, everything. You need all those stuff. Now when you come to this blockchain, you realize that even when you are using Cardano and you are transporting, you can put your whole system on a pen drive and put it in your pocket. Work like a regular person, but the pen drive is carrying billions of dollars on it. That's the ease this comes with. And recently the robberies and whatnot. If you are holding physical cash, it's plenty on you. If I want to buy something, I just pick out my phone. It's digital. We just transfer value and then we are done. She sees a notification. I also see mine. The exchange happened. Then we are all moving. So it's more easier with this. Then also we have. Hello. Then also we have the non-blockchain opportunities. Like when we started, we were saying we should find solutions to the problems. Now, the whole world is turned, let me say, upside down in a way. Let me use upside down for now. But as I go on, maybe I'll change the language later. Because they are in the whole world, okay? We have creators. That's those who create. Then we have the other side of the curve, those who are using what has been created. Then we have the person who is standing in the middle, those who regulate what has been created. Now, the person who is regulating what has been created is our government. Then you, maybe an individual entrepreneur, an ideapreneur, you are the creator. Then other people also find value in what you have created. Is that not it? Now, money will follow those who are creating. Are you getting it? So if the idea is good, you solve problem. Those who create, they solve problem. They realize that it was difficult for humans to visit their fellow humans and or family members. So they created a car so that you drive. It's created. Is that not it? Now, when that value has been created, if you want the car, what do? You have to reward the person who created it. So you have to go and buy and give that person money. This is not exploitation. This is not cheat. But somehow, the reason why I say it has turned upside down is that we find those who create as the problem of our society. And so if someone is facing difficulty, then he's blaming the rich man who has created. You are busy, you want food to eat. There's fast food. You go there and buy and you pay KFC. Is that not it? He has solved your problem. So he's never your enemy. At the end of the day, if he's not solving your problem, he will not give you the money in the first place. So those who are regulating, we don't see them as a problem, and that's what amazes me. Like, we don't see them as a problem. So when it comes to blockchain, the non-blockchain transaction, that is you identifying opportunities and problems, and you solve it. Then the money will what? Follow you. And so the Cardano community is saying that they have more money. They mentioned round 6. With the round 6, they said they've received almost about 8,800 proposals. And also have earmarked about $1.6 billion for development. And they are releasing it small. So round 6 is having almost about 4 million for 800 projects. They are going to give it out. This is a good thing someone is doing. But somehow we understood them to be the enemies. They created. That's what I'm saying. If you don't go beyond the news, you always be in the middle and you are going to be the person being manipulated. I like every person who is a creator because my everything depends on it. This shirt I'm wearing, someone created it. And that person deserved the money he was paid. Are you getting it? Then the person who just come and say, I'm regulating you when you produce the shirt, come and take license from me. Like how? Are you getting the whole picture? So if the person who is giving the licensing is getting more money than the person who is creating the shirt, what do you think will happen in the society? There will be disincentive to create. That's why we don't have a lot of staffs. In other countries, someone will say maybe the whites, they have a lot of machines. They have every machine for everything. Yes, because those who create it, they get paid for it, so they keep creating. A typical talked to one of our family members brought this stuff. It was a tool, you plug it and you use it to sharpen your knife. It was a handy one, so you just plug it. And there was even one that you put battery in it. Then my senior brother was saying, this go to the alley, if you want to sharpen knife, you can't get a block and then you are wasting your energy. You don't understand it. You are wasting your energy. This is if it can be done, it must be done. You get so the person who is creating must get the money. And so with here, you get a lot of sponsorship for your ideas. So if you can solve someone's problem, solve it. Because like I said, those who serve their fellow man receive reward. If I serve you, I should receive reward. Is that not it? That is if like take the statement and analyze every rich man. Aside those who are rich through quality, that's not true money. Even in the advanced society, if rich people are not necessarily politicians, and when you are looking at the full magazine, you don't call politicians as part of rich people, no. To be a politician and be rich is something like a dishonor, so even them, they don't like talking about it. They don't like discussing their salaries. It is here that if you're a politician and you are rich, it is like an honor, no. In your society, if you're a politician and you are rich, no. It's unacceptable. You're supposed to be a businessman and be rich. That is what is acceptable. So if you treat every businessman or every rich man, you realize that they create something and they are being what? Rewarded, from iPhone to whatever. So I'll end here. If there's any question, you can ask. Yes, sir. I think we're taking 3 questions.
I still didn't get what blockchain is.
Oh, I explained the blockchain earlier.
I mean, you use the Google Doc reference and all of that, but so the blockchain itself, what is it? What's
the blockchain is a technology. Okay, so like I mentioned, I said it's a decentralized what?
Distributed ledger
that records the provenance of digital assets. So the asset we have, the blockchain is like the system that you run it on. So the asset is Cardano. That is the asset. You get it? Now, it is run on the blockchain. So if you are buying Cardano, the blockchain will record it. If you transfer it, the blockchain will record it. The reason why I use the Google document is that once Cardano is created, it is one that has been created. Nobody can replicate or duplicate it or create a new one. We can share. It's decentralized. Are you getting it? And then the blockchain is facilitating the whole process and recording the data. So you can say that the blockchain is just a database. To put it simpler, the blockchain is just a database that records every activity. And it is so secure that nobody can tamper it. Is it okay? So, have you done a project work with people far away from you?
Yes.
You see that the work you create, that is the work you share with them for them to work on. The reason why I'm using the Google Doc is that once you create on Google Doc, it's online, and nobody can recreate it. Unlike the one that you just send to the person's email, you can also create a different doc and copy everything on it. I understand. That's what the Google Doc takes away. So you have to come to the document and work on it. You have to come to the document and edit it. And when you come back to the document, if you are 5 and someone edited it, you know it will write there that this person has edited this word from it, and you know. So that's what the database is. So the blockchain is a database. Okay, thanks. Is it okay? If it's okay then.
The blockchain is the database or the distributed ledger thing is the database? Which of them is the database? Is it the blockchain itself that is a database or distributed ledger that is a database?
The blockchain is a term. The distributed ledger is explaining what blockchain is. And it's a type of what? Database. Is it okay? It's a type of database. It's like I'm saying Accra. Accra is a type of city. I'm saying, what is Accra itself? It's a type of city. Okay. And if there's no other question, then I should end my presentation. This is the very last line.
Anyone?
The very last line. Okay, so my name is Nathaniel Jamina and Programs Manager for Young Africans for Opportunity. We are the local partners for this whole program. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nathaniel. Yeah, at this moment, we are going to call David to come and help us energize ourselves. So, David, please come.
Hello. Please can we all be on our feet? Come stand up. It has been a very long presentation, so let's energize ourselves and we'll continue. Okay, so we are going to have a quick activity, okay, just to energize ourselves. What you're going to do is that we are going to count 1, 2, 3 to 10 by to keep reducing till we get to 1. We are going to use our right hand, left hand, right leg, left leg. So for example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then I'll do here to 10, I'll do here 10, I'll do here 10. The second one, I'll go 9, 9, 9, 9. Then we go up to 8, 8, 8, 8, till we get to 1. It's very interesting. Okay, we'll finish right now. Okay, are you ready to do it? You are ready? Okay, so let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I'm setting up my Euro wallet and then I'll take you through. So please give me 1 minute and I'll start. want to, let's say, have an account with Cardano, you want to, let's say, delegate your ADA and then do the stakehold and all that, but you don't know how to do all of that. But before you do that, you have to first buy the ADA before. So you have this platform called Binance. That's where you get to sign up and then you buy the ADA from them. So with that, I have to take you through step by step the procedure, how to buy and all that, how to sign up and all that. So if you have a phone with you, you can start with that. So I'm starting with it. So, okay. So, okay, Nana here, he will help me with it. So, first of all, you click on the Binance, sign up. Register. It's not hard to. So on your phones, you should see, or you should go to Binance.com. You should go to Binance.com. That's where you get to create your account. So if you are there, you should see register at the very top of yes. So you see register over there. And then you click on register. So when you click on register, the first thing you're going to see is create Binance account. So the very first thing you do is you put in your email address. So you put in your email address. So you can put in you can put in your email address, and then the next thing is you put in your password as well. So you can continue with it, you can put in any emails, you can put in, and you say that they will get to see the procedure. So if you've done that, then you click on I have read and agree to Binance terms and services. Then you click create account. That's just simple as that. But before you can do trading or you can buy any token, you have to be verified. If you are not verified, you cannot buy anything. You cannot buy from Binance. So you have to do verification. So if you can fill in them. So they will send you a verification email to your email address, the one that you use to register, right? So they'll send you an email for you to click on the link, and it will take you back to Binance for you to verify that yes, you have registered. Yeah, I hope you guys are following me. If you are here and you want to register, so you can do so. Alright, so that's the 6 code that they sent. So you have to put in and then it will open. Yeah, so now that you've created our account, you have to buy your tokens, but you cannot do that because you have not done what verification. So you have to skip that part, and I wanted to log in so that I'll use my account to just do a training for you guys to see how it works. the 6 digits code that they will give to you. Sorry for the delay. So this is my Binance account, and we want to buy from someone, right? We want to do trading before we can. So let's say if you want to trade, you have to buy from someone, right? So we call something P2P, whereby you go to Binance and then you select the P2P section. So when you click on wallet, you see P2P right here, and click on the P2P. So after that, you search for USDT. You can buy any of these coins, right? But for me, for it to be easier for me, I have to select USDT, and then and then I'll go buy or sell, right? Alright, so I have USDT here, and then I have the buy order over here. So I'll come to Ghana Cedi. So this one, if you don't have anything and you want to start trading, you have to buy from someone first. Then you get USDT, then you can trade with ADA. Okay, so right now we have a couple of people online who has placed orders in so that you can buy. So when you check the first one, he is accepting Momo, but he is taking 10,000 above. So you have to scroll down to see who, and make sure that when you are buying from Binance or you do P2P, the person should be verified. So you see a yellow sign with the correct over here. So which means this person is verified, so you can buy from this person. But this person is also having 6,000 Ghana cedis, whereby you cannot buy from him. Okay, so you have to scroll down and see. So we have someone selling his ADA. Okay, so he is selling this at 50 Ghana cedis, right? So let's buy from this person. Okay, so this person is also selling it at 6.25. That's the dollar rate he is selling it at. So right now, if I'm supposed to buy from this person, I have to put in my details. So I want to buy from him. what I'll do is I'll put in an amount, 50 cedis. And then this is the USDT you receive, which is the 7.98. So you click on buy USDT. Alright, so successfully placed order. That's what you're going to see. So this person is then going to contact, he's going to leave his details for you. So right now you have his full name, and then you have his mobile number over here. So then you have to send an amount to this person through your Momo. But I can cancel this order if I want. Right, but I want to continue with this one. For demonstration purposes, yes, so I have to continue with it. So I'll continue, I'll send this person these 50 cedis. And then when I'm done, I'll click on transfer and go next. Right, so I'm doing the transaction right now. Yeah. Okay, so we have to continue, but we have to join the main feed, which is we have Charles Hoskinski, who is the head of Cardano, or he is the chief executive for Cardano, or IOHK. So we will be joining the feed right now. It's around 3 o'clock. So after that, we will continue with what we are doing right now. So we will join the feed right now. Alright, so right now I've done with the transaction, so that will be all. Alright, so I'll start sharing my screen.
Can I be there as well?
abstractions and applications and nation states running these things, doing their voting systems, their payment systems, their stock markets. It's not practical and feasible to run all of these things on some bizarre virtual machine in the sky. The point is, the ledger is the proof checker. It's the validator. It's the thing that gives you certainty that what the person has told you is right. So simple of a concept. Yet, almost everyone in this space is ignoring that and chasing the exact opposite. Trying to take something like the Java virtual machine and just make it run in the sky. It's a fool's errand. It makes no sense. Satoshi actually got it right. He just didn't have the resources and the knowledge necessary to take it to its logical conclusion, because that required us 4 years and a team of scientists who've been building programming languages for decades. That's hard. And we stood on the shoulders of giants, dozens of papers, dozens of ideas and projects, things like BitML and Simplicity from Blockstream and other places, who were thinking about exactly this same problem. And that's just one thing in this model. You need sidechains, you need light clients, you need all these other features and capabilities. This is the point of the project. It's an innovation engine. We're never, ever once distracted or dissuaded. We don't succumb to pessimism. We keep saying the same thing. We can do it. It might take 10 years, but damn it, we'll get it done. That's the Cardano way, and you're all part of that. And that's what makes it special. You see, the world is changing. When we look throughout the 21st century, because of technology, because of globalization, everything is up for grabs. Our institutions are fading. There's a lack of trust and dignity and respect between people. Things that we used to take for granted as kids are no longer solid and stable. A decade ago, if I heard something from the CDC, I'd believe it absolutely. I don't anymore. A decade ago, if we were told something from a prestigious scientific institution, we just take it on canon. Most people in society, they have a little bit of skepticism. Even the integrity of elections has been challenged. It doesn't matter whether you believe it or not. The fact that the crowd, the swarm, the masses of society are having troubles digesting this in meaningful percentages is destroying society. Add that to the fact that our monetary systems are crumbling. We are told that it's okay to print $6 trillion out of thin air in this nation, and that we won't have any inflation at all. Anybody buy any wood lately? Food lately? And then the people who supposedly know what's going on, what do they tell us? They say, well, as long as you exclude the price of meat, chicken, and pork, price of food's not so bad. This is what we're told. So what does it mean? It means that everyone in the world is taking a step back, and they're saying the time has come for new systems. The time has come for a return to honesty and integrity. The time has come for us to trust each other somehow in some way. Why does our industry command such a large market cap and so much evangelism and so much passion? It's because this is the only industry that's figured out a path to get us there without an empire. A path to get us there without kings and presidents and dictators. This is an industry that promises us that there is a way to solve the problems of the future, whatever they may be. The problems that emergent technology gives us, the fact that we're burning our planet out at an alarming rate, species going extinct all the time, the problem of all the violence that's come, the instability that's come. Totalitarian theological regimes have somehow resumed ruling nations. These problems, they're very real. And in the past, how we've always solved it is, go find an empire to go clean it up. Let them rule the world for a century or two. If you're in the in crowd, it's a good life. And for everybody else, so sorry, maybe you'll have the turn next. I don't want to live in that world anymore, and I don't think you do either. I'd like to live in a world where everyone is treated fairly. Everyone is treated with honesty and respect and dignity and transparency. These are basic things. We put them in constitutions. We put them in laws. We promise each other we'll treat each other this way. But you know what happens? Humans happen. And while the individual may be virtuous, the collective, somehow, some way, if left unrestrained and unrestricted, they sometimes have problems. The magic of this industry is that we can create almost an artificial law of physics for society. We can take the rights that we believe that we have earned and should have, that we should be born with, and we can put it into a blockchain. And then suddenly people can't cheat. The most powerful way of demonstrating that is what Bitcoin accomplished. Say, no, they have rules and predictability and we won't intervene until we do. Then suddenly this thing comes out that promises 21 million. That's it. Can't change it. Can't reverse it. These are the rules, regardless of the circumstances. Then you see Silk Road happen, Mt. Gox happen. You see dozens of massive issues happen. You see nation states get involved and yell at it. Has it changed once? No. Not even when the core developers themselves were on the losing end of the game. And what does that mean? It means that if you can take those concepts and principles and put them into social systems that secure your vote, your voice, your dignity as a person, no matter who's on top, you're going to be treated fairly. That's the unifying theme, despite all the tribalism and the sectarianism and the fights that we've noticed in this industry that keeps us together, is that we just want to be treated better. We just want institutions that don't lie to us. We just want predictability. We just want to live in a world that's peaceful instead of one that's filled with chaos. Now, how do we get there? This all sounds good and fine. Well, first you have to build an army. We've got a pretty good one right here, don't we? Then you have to arm your army. And what do you arm them with? You arm them with knowledge and tools and capabilities. You first have to convince them that they have a lot of power collectively and individually. You have to give them the ability to think about how they want to live their lives. They have to give them things that they can give to others. So, provisioning. Well, we give them Catalyst, got that. Then you got to give them a platform upon which they can do commerce, express themselves, their voice, their vision, their vote. So what's coming? Well, we've 3 eras into this. We have Byron down. That was very hard because we had to learn how to do that. We have Shelley, and now we have thousands of stateful operators. Cardano is completely independent. It's run by them. It's a decentralized movement. It's a virtual resource. It is damn near impossible to shut the network down now. Cardano has become like Mick Jagger. It shall never die. That was Shelley. Gauguin was programmability. It was the ability to start running things. In the coming months and years, we will see hundreds and then thousands and then tens of thousands of decentralized applications built by you, the community, empowered by Catalyst, empowered by collaboration.
I don't like like when she cocaine dealer, young police to I see the person anti-mix that the wish could be answers. I mean, the one I do that. Allah is be when he when I
completely digital, and they have no loyalty or preferences to anything in the legacy world. There are no grand Microsofts and Facebooks and Goldman Sachs and JP Morgans to contend with. And there's a tireless Microsofts and Facebooks and Goldman Sachs and JP Morgans to contend with. And there's a tireless population who's very young. Many of the countries, over 70% of the people are under the age of 30, who grew up as digital natives. They see the world they could have, the places they could go, the things they could achieve and accomplish. And thus they vote for that. They protest for that. They fight for that. No one wants to live in a corrupt place. No one wants to live in a place of hopelessness and will never get there. So guess what? Give collectively billions of people those kinds of tools, and they're going to have a revolution. That's exactly what's going to occur. And they're going to build something so much better than what we have here. They're going to build institutions far more durable. And hopefully they're going to build it on Cardano. That's our labor, our pursuit. That's why we fight so hard. We're traveling all around as much as we can. And so far we've brought in millions. And if they do that, those systems will run at costs that are orders of magnitude lower than the systems we have right now. Remittances will be the cheapest in the world. Credit will be the cheapest in the world. Best insurance system in the world. Most reliable voting systems. You talk about liquidity. The most efficient stock markets. The ability to take a $5 million company and have a micro IPO. These are the experiments that are going to be conducted in Kenya, Ethiopia, Rwanda, and many other places. And you know what that means is they're going to work. And when they work, they'll create billions and then eventually trillions of dollars of wealth. And with wealth, there's power. And the rest of the world will see that. And they'll say, me too, I want to get on that. But the only way they can is to become like us, to join this movement, to change the way those systems work, to demand integrity, inclusive accountability, and transparency, and all the things that we're now enabling. Now, there's a lot of work to do. The rest of the roadmap has things like Basho and Voltaire, and next year is the first year where we do 2 of them instead of 1 of them. We're already working real hard. We've been working for 3-4 years now on Basho, for 4 years on Voltaire. So what happens? Well, main chain, the programming model improves. Keep doing things to make the developer experience better. It's going to be kludgy for a few months, as all new platforms are. Flagship applications come out, special accommodations are made to make them run faster and more optimally, these types of things. So there's a lot of Shelley-related work and Goguen-related work that's in the cleanup crew. And there's a whole group of people that worry about that. There's more than 12 development companies at this point that work on Cardano's core infrastructure all across the world. Subbed ever sleeps on development of Cardano. Basho is about saying, okay, let's get the hybrid age here. Let's get a lot of this traffic into the hands of the state pools, get it off-chain, into side chains, to explore with new computational models. There is a place for technology like Ethereum. There is a place for technology like Yellow. There is a place for technology that has yet to be invented. The point of Basho is to open that up and bring it to the ecosystem so that we can run at a scale of millions and billions of users sustainably. The point of Voltaire is to ensure that this system is forever in the hands of the people who care the most about it, you, the community, and all that come after you. We've already seen the beginnings of this with Catalyst, but there's a lot more work to do. Protocol parameters have to be in the control of the community completely. The SIP process has to be strengthened. We have to create standards process, especially at the smart contract layer. In addition to that, the Mark IV Combinator has to be totally in the control of the community. All of these things, these are cleanups. But in the process of doing that, we also have to do things like write a constitution for Cardano. Why not? You have rights. Monetary policy is different than just adding a new ledger rule. Adding a post-quantum signature scheme is fundamentally different than deciding whether to add a new sidechain or not. So there needs to be a hierarchy of concerns here. And how do you write a constitution? You write it with the people. And that's what we're going to be doing with you. We're going to come together, ratify that, put that right into the ledger, and treat it like a biological system where Cardano understands its own design. Spend all this time writing formal specifications. One good reason to do that is so that you get high-quality software. But another good reason to do formal specifications is that it's the DNA of the system. And what do cells have? DNA inside of them. The system should know itself and its own design. Because then, any person who has a full node has a full copy of all that meta, all that design. That's how you create resilient organisms that can never die, is you build in redundancy into them. You build in replication into them. And you create a process upon which that DNA can evolve. And then we'll see dozens of commercial clients flow from that. If you don't like Haskell, it's okay. We have Rust. JavaScript, Python, Java, mainstream languages that mainstream developers know. It's important that when you're doing new things, you do it right and it's correct and you have high assurance. But let's be honest here, there's a reason there's 25 million developers. There's a reason there's a diversity of programming languages and thought and infrastructure. So, as the Voltaire age grows and we get the DNA of the system, the specification of the system, into the chain itself, and the community's control of where do we go in the deep future, there's also going to be a Cambrian explosion of infrastructure. We're already seeing this with DC Spark, building all this beautiful Rust infrastructure. Projects like Ada Light, I think there's one called CC Wallet. There's dozens of things floating around. And right now they're nascent and young, but with the resources of Catalyst, the rigor of the community, the ability to follow a process, they will grow. And over time, they will grow to be larger, bigger, and better than anything we see in the rest of the space, because they're built from the bottom up, resilient. Dozens of them will become hundreds of them. Dozens of languages will become hundreds of languages, and this ecosystem will continue to strengthen, continue to be more useful. Now, a lot of people call us a ghost chain, which is just damn perplexing. I wore a Ghostbusters outfit just to prove a point. And so, if we're a ghost chain, how can we get such great partners? We mentioned the mystery of education. Well, did you know for the last few months we've been negotiating with a Fortune 250 company? We closed a deal. So who did we close with? Well, talking about digital transformation of the individual and the rights of humanity, that's fun, but businesses need to transform as well. So there happened to be a great business that came by the office a few months ago, and they said, hey, you know, we're right now in the middle of a giant transformation of our business, and we would like to have a discussion about how do we bring blockchain into this? How do we use these techniques and concepts like DIDs and microtransactions and having a wallet right on the cell phone? How do we pull those pieces together? Well, that company was Dish. And we said, boy, that sounds like a lot of fun. Let's go workshop that. About 3-4 days a week of meetings, again and again and again. We eventually got to a point where we made a deal with Boost Mobile to put DIDs, decentralized identifiers, on every single phone. 8 million of them. So that's just an example, and there's so much to build on top of that. One can build wallet infrastructure. They can build a dApp store. They can do all kinds of things and bring this to the consumer's phone, just like that. Now, why us? Well, because there's peer review, there's high assurance software, and there's just a damn good community that cares about these things. The other thing is, when you think about the growth model there, where is Dish going? They're becoming an ISP. You guys know about T-Mobile, you know about Sprint, you know about Verizon. These are cell phone companies, right? Well, Dish is a telco company, and they're moving into the 5G space and connectivity. In the coming years, more than 70% of America is going to be covered by their 5G network. Well, how do you build a network like that? You build it differently. You build it with new technology. You build it with new standards. And maybe you can build it with a little bit of blockchain in it. How about they be the first ISP to figure that one out? And that's the magic and beauty of the technology that we are building here today. It's built to last, and it's built to transform things. Your life as individuals, the lives of Fortune 250 companies, the lives of governments themselves, takes a lot of hard work. It takes a lot of heroism. It takes a lot of unique advancements and developments and challenges that exist. But we're never dissuaded by that because we were born of resilience. First, as an industry that was always mocked. Second, as an ecosystem that never seems to get a fair shake in the media and never seems to get a fair consideration. And third, as people. We're here to stay. Cardano's here to stay. Voltaire and Basho are just beginnings to a new era, the Cardano 2025 era. Let's look at the challenges before us. In the next 10 to 20 years, there will probably be quantum computers. That's a dragon we got to slay. Well, we're going to do that together. In the next 10, 20 years, we're probably, through this movement, going to invent entirely new ways of voting and governing. We have to contend with difficult questions like confidentiality and privacy. How much privacy should you have? And under what circumstances can things be de-anonymized? These are super difficult questions because there's the rights of the individual, the rights of the society. Over the next 10 or 20 years, we see an unholy alliance between governments and corporations to create this surveillance capitalism. You see it every day with Facebook and Google and social credit in China and other places. People working together, indirectly or directly, where you don't own your own data. You don't own the perception of you, the metadata about you. There's going to be a pushback. The pendulum will swing in the other direction. The concepts of self-sovereign identity, of you owning yourself, your data, your identity, these things. Well, we have to figure that out. There's no rules for any of these things. We're pioneers in this respect. It's an entirely new global society. Why? Because the things that happen in Ethiopia matter here in Wyoming. The things that happen here in Wyoming matter in Chile. They matter in Japan. Humanity has never lived this way before. We've never lived with such a global commons. We were always so local. So, the next 10, 20 years, we have to figure out together, how are we going to do that? How are we going to build systems that are more open? One of the most magical things about the dApp space is we're also talking a lot about liberating applications in general from the control of the few. It's not fair that Microsoft and Apple and Google collectively get to decide what you can install on your phones and computers. That's just not right. So, when you build a dApp and a dApp store and you build these liberating models, you start poking holes in that funnel. You start loosening that death grip and control. You start having new standards. So another big component is, how do we as a community come together and figure out how to create standards for smart contracts, standards and certification of things. So there are 4 tracks in this conference. During the utility track, we're going to talk a lot about that. What are the blueprints of applications? How do you get them up on a blockchain so that anybody can access them? How do you curate quality when no one's in control? There's no custodian there to say this is a safe app, and that was built by Bob. There has to be some sort of wisdom of the crowds. It's a hugely difficult problem. Just solving it for identifying a person was called Web of Trust. We started doing that in 1991. Still not completely figured out. The good news is we're not in this alone. This is an industry-wide concern. Not just our industry, but the entire class of developers. This movement, Cardano, blockchain, is about liberating every single thing it touches. It doesn't matter if it's a telecommunications company that lives in an ossified monopolistic world with tight regulations and, well, that's just the way it works and it's worked that way for a century and deal with it, to an app developer who just wants to make a video game and is tired of being told they can't do microtransactions or something else because it violates an app store policy. They're united in the fact that systems beyond them are constraining and controlling their ability to innovate and create. The point of the tools and the technologies we build is, first, everyone is free. Everyone has equal rights, and also you are liberated to live your dreams and create the things you want to create. And hopefully we're making that point. If you add up MOE and DISH, that's 13 million people just there the next 12 to 24 months coming online. If you look at the community itself, it's in the millions. And we're just about ready for explosive growth. Basha will bring new technology like Mithril. Now, I fully admit that sometimes Daedalus needs to speed up a little bit. I fully admit that we need a better light client game. The problem is that we couldn't just copy a light client design from Bitcoin or Ethereum because all these protocols were completely new. So it required some time to figure out new cryptographic primitives and new protocols in order to enable a safe light experience. Well, we're here now with the Mithril age. And at this summit, you're going to see presentations about Mithril. And this is not some far-off concept that's coming 5-10 years from now. Mithril is coming next year. Light clients with full client security are coming next year. And the same technology that enables Mithril to have a great light client experience, which will bring these tens of millions of people into Cardano, is the same technology that will rapidly speed up the validation of full nodes. So that means everything gets better. Daedalus gets faster. Third-party wallets get faster. And it's all open source. It's all available not just for Yoroi and Flint and Daedalus and other wallets. It's available for you, the wallet builders, building your own projects, for Catalyst, for all kinds of things to think about. And this type of technology is so foundational, it can be reused in Hydra, it can be used for ZK rollups, it can be used for all kinds of things as that thread scales. Helps the scalability, helps the user experience. But that alone is not going to get it done. We recommend to getting Cardano into the browser and getting Cardano onto your phone. So we have a skunkworks at I/O, and we've been working very hard. And some of the presentations here at the conference will be to show you guys what's coming in the next few months, which is going to be a light wallet that I/O has created. We're bringing to all the consumers. And it's a beautiful wallet. We haven't named it yet. We're having some fights about it. But I assure you, you're really going to like where we're going. Get the wallet, the identity, the voting, the delegation, all these things into the browser and make it easy to install. One click. Make it magical. And by the way, put a dApp store into it. And we have a dApp store we're showing off. We have a dApp store we're showing off too, and that'll come rather quickly. And what's so magical about this dApp store is to put dApps in it, guess who you have to ask? Exactly! You're getting it! It's permissionless. Yet, if you have this idea of certified software, what that means is, well, anybody can use it. What you can do is allow standards and community to show you what the good and safe apps are. It's a great balance. Open, yet somehow curated. Powerful, yet somehow light. That is what we're going for. That is what we're aiming for. And you know what? We're going to bring millions of users into this thanks to all these deals that we've been making and continue to make. And you're going to bring millions of users into it because you want your businesses to succeed. Just that simple. And every time we bring someone into this ecosystem, we are reinforcing and strengthening the core philosophy of the ecosystem. We're teaching people about the value of decentralization. We're teaching people that they have a voice and they can vote and they can decide where to take these things with Catalyst. We're showing people how to be their own bank. We're showing people how to be self-determined. We're also teaching people to interact with people they've never met before. That is so powerful if you think about it. Look at the diversity of faces. Look at the diversity of this movement. There are people right now watching this in Vietnam, right now watching this in Rwanda and Cape Town, right now watching this in Brazil, right now watching this in Canada, all across the world, over 100 countries. These are the people that are connected to you now. You can learn from them. You can learn from each other. Every single time we bring people into this infrastructure, little by little, it teaches them to listen more, to realize the world is much more nuanced, and it gives them their power back. So, a lot of announcements, a lot of things. 4 tracks: adoption, impact, utility, governance. Each and every one of them, dozens of presentations, hundreds of people from around the planet with incredible ideas. Amazing scientific thought, amazing thought on the engineering side, revolutionary ways of building things, an incredible community, lots of impact that's happening. But what unifies all of it is you, and what unifies all of it is the fact that we have dreamed together and actually accomplished something together. It is the privilege of a lifetime to watch this ecosystem grow and make myself so damn irrelevant. There is nothing I can say anymore and do anymore that in any way, shape, or form is going to derail Cardano. The reality is Cardano has outgrown its founder, and that's exactly what was intended. I'm still here. I'll still be here for a long time. But I'm now sitting on the other side of the table, if you think about it. The big announcements that come in the following years, the big things that come in the following, there's going to be so many more of them from you. Kind of like when you looked at the iPhone. Apple says, look at this amazing device, and it's a platform for creativity. How do we think about the iPhone? Do we think about it as a phone? No, we think about it as a collection of experiences. And each and every one of those experiences were built not by Apple, but by the community. That's where the Instagrams came from. That's where the Facebooks come from. All these things, these mobile experiences that you use every single day, some people more than 8 hours a day when they look at usability scores, they come from other people who have never met Steve Jobs, who have never partnered with Apple, know very little about them, probably never even been to Cupertino. That is where Cardano is going now, thanks to the COVID era. We have these amazing DEXs coming out. There's the DEGED project, which is a gift to the community. So now we have great foundations for stablecoins, tons of partnerships to announce, tons of people to come. I fade away because an army of people stand in front of me. And eventually, you'll do far more than anything I ever accomplished, ever accomplished. And that's the point of changing the world. Create an engine to allow people to change it for themselves. We did that in our own way. You named the lobster, not me. And I just want to thank you for all of that. You made me believe in humanity again. You made me believe in people again. You made me believe that there are no problems we cannot solve, no mountains we cannot scale. And you made me believe that the 21st century is going to be better than the 20th century. In closing, never be cynical. Never believe that you can't. All you have to do to change the world, and we demonstrated that here with this movement, is just decide that you want to. And thankfully, we now have the tools to do it for everyone, everywhere. Thank you so much.
WhatsApp page. Post the link on the WhatsApp page. That's not all of you on the page. So post the link over there. We'll post the link on the Facebook page, Wada Community. So the summit is ongoing from now till tomorrow. So you can watch it if you have time and you are interested in it. But meanwhile, I want us all to stand up and give them away. Every country is giving them, we will record it and send it to them so that we really have the summit. Who is recording? We need away from Ghana. So you all scream, Ghana, Wada, Cardano Summit 2021. Okay? So, 1, 2, go! I don't know if you are still interested. You want to either go into breakout groups, not too much, I don't know, or use this time as a wrap up. People who have questions, really pertinent questions to ask. Initially, we talked about, so should we still go into breakout groups? Are you ready for that, or we should just take general questions? Okay, we complete all what he's doing. And then instead of going into, initially thought of going to breakout groups, and then taking the various speakers will lead what they talked about, catalysts and then blockchain and other things. But looking at the time and the weather, we'll just finish what he's doing. And if you have critical questions that you want to ask. So you're also being able to do the Euro wallet too. Yeah, because that is important. And maybe the first 15 might get some tutu updates from one of our guys who is doing the smile statement. I thought about it. He's gladly donated some aliens that we should, if you're able to open your wallet, just to show you how to do it. Because if you want to, the catalyst thing that he talked about, if you want to become a
Hello everybody, my name is Jerry Fragiscatos. I'm Chief Commercial Officer at Input Output. I'm here today with Chris Ergen, Head of Innovation at Dish, Charles Hoskinson, CEO of Input Output, and Stephen Stokels, Head of Boost. I'll be moderating the panel today. We are here to reveal some exciting news. Chris, why don't you kick us off?
Yeah, I'm excited to announce that Dish and Input Output are entering into a strategic collaboration to build blockchain services to make blockchain a core part of our network and consumer strategy.
Thank you, Chris. Let's kick off with our first question. Broadly speaking, where is the point of connection between the blockchain world and the telecom space? Charles, why don't you kick us off with that discussion?
Yeah, so the telco world is a really interesting world. It's about the movement of people, value, data across space and time. And it's really been the key driver of the internet, the key driver of many of the things that we take for granted. And it's gone through many iterations and revolutions, from the old telegraph days to the phone line days to actually starting to transmit actual.
Catalyst programs, you should have a certain, like the voting rights. If you don't have a certain amount of ADA in your wallet, you can't vote. But there are other things you can do. So he's going to complete that, and then we'll iterate about 2 or 3 key questions that we'll answer. And then I will enjoy all of you to follow other activities. We are going to put you in our database. Anytime you are doing any program, we invite you. But then if you are not active, you can't do anything about that. Thank you very much.
Okay, please, we are continuing with what I started. So you realize that as I was ending, I was buying from someone, and actually I've bought it already, which is 50 Ghana cedis. So I'm going to fiat and spot. So when you highlight on wallet and you go to fiat and spot, okay. So you realize that I have USDT over here, but I have to transfer from my P2P wallet to my main account. Okay, so I'll go to transfer. Okay, so I'll go to transfer. So from, you click on, okay, swap. So you have to swap it over here. You see the arrow sign from funding to fiat, right? So I have 7.9 over here, which is equivalent to 50 Ghana cedis. So you select all, which is you click on the max, and then you're going to select everything, and you confirm it. Okay. So now it has been sent to my main account, which is the spot wallet. So when I go to my fiat and spot, I'm going to find it over there. Okay, so we have to trade the USDT with ADA. So you have to search for ADA, which is ADA over here. Next page. So Nana Safo is walking through. Anybody who is registering he can help you out. Yes, over there. All right, so we have to find ADA. Okay, so you go to buy or trade, right? And you look out for ADA pairing USDT, and then you select. So this is the view you're going to have. So you find the buy section. So when you come down, you see this section, which say we have limit, market, and then spot limit. So the limit is, you can set this limit at any point at which you want to buy the ADA. So you can set it at 2.5, that's what you want to buy it. But you can also set it as low as 2 USD. If you want to wait until it gets to 2 USD, and then you buy it from there. But if you want to buy it at the price it is now, then you have to put it at market sell order. That one, it doesn't matter where the price is. At any point in time where you find the market, let's say it's at 4.416 at the moment. The moment it hits that place, that place, it has to buy. I don't know whether you get it. It has to buy it. So that's the market price. But when you have the limits, that it is at your own interest to set any limit, and then it will buy at that limit where you set it. All right. So we will set it at market price, so that anywhere the market is at the moment, it will buy. Okay. So I'll select the amount of ADA I want to buy. And then I'll go max. You see this arrow here? You take it to 100. And then I'm getting 3.2 ADA. So I'll click on the buy. So we should see order, open orders. So the order that I just placed should come there, but because I just selected market, I wouldn't see that because it has already bought it. Okay. So we go to my wallet again, and I will check fiat and spot. Okay, let's try that one more time again. All right. Okay, so we have 2.42 USD, that's the price, right? Okay, so let's maintain it at the limit, and then we set it to 100%. So we are buying 3.2 ADA, and then we are paying for 7.744 USDT. Okay, so we click on buy. So it's telling me that I have less amount of money to buy the ADA, so I have to top up before I can buy. Alright, so I think this is a process whereby you can use to buy your ADA, right? So we will continue from there. So from here, we have our ADA whereby we can transfer from Binance to Euro wallet. But I guess we here right now, we don't have our Euro wallet. So we have to set up our Euro wallet. So we are going to begin with that one too as well. But with the Euro wallet, you have to create it because you'll be receiving ADA from here. The first 50 people who can register the Euro wallet will receive 2 ADA. So if you can follow along, you can use your phone and then follow along, and you can get. If you don't have. Yes. Yeah. Wi-Fi. Anybody who is having access internet can also share it out for others to use. Yeah. Okay. But it doesn't need much internet. I think the app requires about 15 megabytes for you to download, so you can. Come again? Yeah, at the Play Store. If you have Apple phones, Apple Store, yes. You have your address. Okay, but those of us who doesn't have the your wallet, you have to create it new. So you have to follow the process, and then you create your other wallet. The internet. Okay. So, as I was the internet. Yeah.
Emerging markets. Once you get the model here, there's always ways to syndicate and franchise the business model, and that's the other cool part of this relationship. Is what we've built is this nice corpus where
minutes before you download. Alright, so after downloading it, you click on Create Wallet. Right, and you continue, you click on Cardano. Okay. So, have you downloaded it, please? Uroi Wallet, Uroi, Y-O-R-O-I. That's a extension. Please, Nana Safi is back there, so he'll help you out. Okay, please, are you ready?
Even the people you would think would get it right about safety, security, privacy have gotten it horrifically wrong. I think one of the biggest moments in US history was the OPM hack, the Office of Personnel Management. There, you have a database that contains the names and information of all the people who applied for and got security clearances. So our spies, our generals, our military, deeply personal information about them, their relationships, other things, held by a very secret government agency. It gets hacked and 22 million files have been lost since the 1970s. If that kind of agency has difficulty keeping data secure, it's unrealistic to assume that Fortune 500 small businesses, individuals are going to be able to do that in the old paradigm. So you need to change the paradigm a little bit and push power to the edges and put the consumer front and center with their digital life, and their access control, their personally identifiable information. And to Stephen's point, the ability to create liquidity where you can easily move between these different fragmented systems is incredibly important, because that liquidity ultimately is the difference between you having $10 of revenue and $1 million of revenue. You know, it's the difference between a low value customer that's worth 50 cents lifetime value and $2,000 lifetime value. The more that they do in your ecosystem, the more they can do in the ecosystem, the easier it is for them to connect to services, the easier it is for third parties to come in and connect their services to your services. That is really where we need to be at in 2021 and beyond for businesses to be competitive. And when you talk about identity and data, it seems to be stuck in a very 1980s, 1990s mainframe paper world. And very rapidly, the next 3 to 5 years, that's going to fundamentally change. You see it with Facebook and the metaverse. You see it with some of the products Google is building. You see it with some of the products that Microsoft is building. And the telco space can't be left behind because, as Chris has said, they're really layer zero. They're the backbone upon which all of this stuff runs. And if they don't do it, it's going to be a lot harder to do it layer 1 and layer 2 and higher up layers. If they do it at the backbone layer, then that becomes the skeleton key that we can use to connect all of these services, and we'll get better safety, better security, better privacy, and ultimately more velocity of commercial transactions. And that's where we want to be at.
Chris? Yeah, I mean, I think Charles said it pretty well there, but you know, in the United States, our Social Security cards are an actual piece of paper, and to think that your identity and your ability to prove your identity can be ruined by spilling a cup of coffee onto a document is very old world. So we're very excited to be moving into the future with identity and how we can utilize that to enable a host of services. And it won't be able to be ruined by an accident.
And the other thing is that you think about a modern company, we think about identity in terms of people, but there's also sensors, there's IoT devices, there's guys have to identify in your stack than human things in the stack. So what's so beautiful about this collaboration is what we're trying to figure out is bedrock. So we're trying to figure out what is a universal identifier that's built with standards, like through the W3C and so forth, that's open. Have maximum business flexibility in the places you want to go, the people you want to work with, the systems you want to interoperate with. For example, this Cardano collaboration is great for Cardano, but at the end of the day, these credentials and assets can very easily also be embedded in Ethereum and Bitcoin and other ecosystems. And so that puts Dish and Boost in the driver's seat about what is best for the business, what is best for the customer, what is best for the consumer. And there are going to be many cases where it turns out that there are other experiences that are best. There was another large company that actually had to go through this renaissance, and it turned out to be one of the greatest business transformation stories of all time. It was the transformation of Microsoft. They used to have this very closed mindset of Windows first and forever. We can never work with Android and Apple. We can't work with competitors. We have to build everything internally. And then when they opened it up, they said sometimes it's okay to release an app on an Apple product before Windows. Sometimes it's okay just to be mobile first and not actually have a Windows mobile. And now they're, I think, almost a $2 trillion company. Far more profitable, far more resilient, far more love. And that's exactly the kind of transformation we expect to see in the telecommunications space. The first people to embrace open standards, the first people to embrace maximal flexibility in the business model, agility, and to Stephen's point, the ability to create velocity in the commercial transactions, that is the stuff that creates the 10x growth and the 100x growth. And that's the stuff that transforms the Telecom from just a layer 0 boring infrastructure company into a company that becomes a kingmaker for entire verticals in the industry and has a more balanced relationship with their customer base, which will be ever growing.
Let me just hit one point home, because I think what Charles is talking about is extremely important, and bringing it back to the consumer. But other companies, obviously us taking the lead is good for us, but it's also good for a broad ecosystem of everybody who kind of follows. Because if you think about it, if you want access to tens of millions of customers and you're a financial services firm or you're an insurance company, sharing that same underlying digital infrastructure for digital identification allows you to kind of get access in a very seamless way without having to do a business development relationship and a formal 6-month legal documents and a partnership to be able to kind of bring everybody together. And so again, it's not just good for us, Boost and Dish, but it's going to be good for the entire ecosystem and other third parties that want to participate in it.
I 100% agree. I mean, I take this one very personally. I think there's a new feature in iOS where it kind of lists all the accounts that have been hacked or have been on some kind of leak. And I looked at the list and it's almost every single one of my accounts. And we've almost accepted this as normal. And if I know personally, if a provider like Boost offers a secure ID where I can be assured that won't happen, I would switch carriers. Of course, like you said, they all provide similar performances. The price points are almost equivalent. If I could get this, I would definitely switch carriers, and I think millions of other people would do the same thing. And I think there's an education to be done, because it almost feels like we've given up this right. We didn't even know that we gave it up, and now there's a new opportunity to get it back. I think that's extremely powerful.
Yeah, I mean, there's tons of SIM boosting just within the cryptocurrency industry. Hundreds of millions of dollars have been stolen just by people illegally porting cell phone numbers and getting access to people's Coinbase account and other places. And that's just such a fundamental thing of, how do we know our relationship with our customer? How do we make sure that that customer is actually who they say they are? That should be easy to solve in 2021. But because legacy infrastructure makes it hard, that's a problem. And it's a problem at scale across the entire industry. And to your point, there seems to be a great degree of tone deafness to that, which is because they're ossified monopolies. And how you win is you disrupt that. You just kind of bring something revolutionary and new, and if you get it right, everybody else follows, and then it makes the entire industry better for everyone.
Look, the core principle here is it's the customer really owning their own identity here. And so at the very fundamental basic here, you got a customer who owns his own identity versus a company owning the customer's identity. So I think just even from that perspective, it's a completely different way of sort of approaching identity than sort of the or even quicker perhaps. And again, it's enabled there. And look, at the end of the day, if you think about it, you want access to the Boost customer base and the tens of millions of subscribers, well, you can do that on your own. You can have access and you can be remunerated by these loyalty points for your access. And so it's pretty exciting from that perspective. And from a Boost customer perspective, look, stay with Boost long enough, we might buy your next house, buy your next car. I mean, it opens up all kinds of value to the consumer as they accumulate these loyalty points that actually have value well beyond the Boost ecosystem as it exists today.
The thing that excites me the most about it is the innovation that we don't know is going to happen. It's like crowdsourcing innovation. You're creating a platform and people with the loyalty points or maybe some other token will power a host of applications that we can't even imagine today. And I think, Chris, from your perspective, I think being able to crowdsource your innovation from your customers, that will actually be more loyal customers, so you get the engagement, the retention, the acquisition, but then you opened up innovation to the world based on this type of program. So I'd love to hear more of your thoughts about that.
Makes my job a lot easier, for one thing. But clearly, networks are much more powerful the bigger they are. And so to be able to go directly to the community that is our customer, the people that we're trying to innovate on behalf of and get their input is incredibly powerful. And I'm hoping that this turns into something that's much, much bigger than just us.
Charles, why don't you bring this home for all of us?
Well, it's a great beginning, and what's really cool is there's collectively a lot of brain power and a lot of goodwill and a lot of truly amazing ideas that are on the table. But for this collaboration to be successful, we got to execute, we got to move forward, and we always have to keep our eye on the prize about the experiences that are needed and the level of participation that's needed. So what's so cool about it is that just in 9 months, we've gone from, hi, nice to meet you, Chris, to this massive fundamental transformation of a Fortune 250 company. And I'm very optimistic that in the coming months to years, we're going to see that collaboration be shared with the millions of Boost customers and eventually the broader ecosystem, the entire cryptocurrency and blockchain space and the entire telecommunications space. This is the kind of deal that I can imagine in a decade horizon involves hundreds of millions, if not billions of people. I'm deeply passionate about it because to do the things we'd like to do as a company, we have to bank the unbanked and connect the unconnected. And that's a tremendous challenge. And to work with a tier 1 telecommunications company, it not only teaches us how to make our products more competitive and make Cardano a better ecosystem, but it also ultimately teaches us how to bring this type of connectivity and these ideas to continents like Africa, to places like Cuba, to places like South America, to places like Southeast Asia, where there are literally billions of people who are underbanked or unbanked and really need a leg up. So this is a very passionate project for me. And it's something that I'm probably going to spend a huge chunk of my time, and I know Chris has spent probably the majority of his time this year on it. It's been exhausting, but we're always invigorated and recharged by the fact that we actually have a chance to make a real difference in people's lives. And we have a chance to make a very big difference in the industry. And to work with a partner like Dish that's done this for 40 years, again and again and again, literally every time they came in, they were the rebel, the underdog, the disruptor that always found a way to look at and do things differently, whether it be satellite equipment out of the back of a truck to basically the things they've done with HughesNet and EchoStar and these other great product lines is really an honor. And it's the privilege of my career to learn from you guys and work with you guys.
And likewise for us, I mean, the community that you guys have built is just getting started. I want to congratulate the Cardano community for getting the Alonzo upgrade launched and deployed just a few days ago. And that's going to enable the community to really take root. And we're very excited to be a part of that. So thank you.
It's going to be fun.
Thank you, guys. It's also been a personal pleasure of mine to work with you guys. It's part of it is always how much value can you bring, but you reach a point in your career where it's just, I want to work with people I like working with, and it's been a personal pleasure of mine to work with you guys. Thank you.
with Chainlink Labs. A little bit more about what you do.
Actually, the largest decentralized Oracle network in the world. So we essentially do two things. One is we're very focused on bringing off-chain data securely on-chain, so onto any blockchain. And the second thing that we're really focused on is enabling interoperability between different blockchains as well. So we offer a whole range of smart contract services. Just to give you some examples, we're very well known for providing price feeds. So these are crypto price feeds, so the price of BTC USD as a simple example. And we do that via a decentralized method involving a whole range of data providers, a very vast node operator network, and allows that secure price to go through to users. And we actually power about 70% of the entire DeFi ecosystems. So we started off with crypto price feeds, and in fact, there's a whole range of other smart contract services we provide now as well. So verifiable randomness. So this is on-chain verifiable randomness, which is very useful in areas like gaming and NFTs. And another product we've recently launched called Keepers. So this provides automation and smart contract maintenance services, very popular in the DeFi space as well. So for us, it's really about providing those smart contract services to users so they can then build highly user-centric and powerful applications on top of platforms like Cardano.
So tell us a little bit more about your vision and mission as a company.
So for us, we provide decentralized Oracle networks, but starting off with things like crypto price feeds and DeFi is really just the beginning. And fundamentally for us, our vision is really wanting to make a wider impact on society with what we call the truth in a cryptographic provided way. And this can really be provided via advanced smart contracts. And we really want to extend out what blockchains and smart contracts can do across a whole range of industries and across a whole range of platforms. And our broader vision, which we hope to achieve, I assume many years from now, is really to kind of focus on building an open source standard for how this type of cryptographic truth can enable blockchains and smart contracts to actually make useful applications for the world. So to bring it to life a little bit, in terms of the areas that I mentioned earlier, when I mentioned that ability to bring off-chain data securely onto any blockchain, this can happen via any type of data feed. Crypto price feeds is just the beginning. It can enable connections with payment systems and so on and so forth. But one example that might be quite useful is in the area of parametric insurance. So we work with a number of interesting fintech startups that are trying to enable parametric insurance in sub-Saharan Africa. And one of the key data inputs that's required for those parametric insurance contracts is highly secure, verifiable, and robust weather data for those to activate those particular parametric insurance contracts. So that's just one example, but there's a whole range of other really interesting data that we hope to bring to platforms like Cardano, so your users can build really interesting applications on top of that data. The second key area as well is enabling cross-chain interoperability. And this is really a framework for enabling bridges between different chains. And so this is something that we hope to collaborate with the Cardano ecosystem as well. And really what it's about is enabling a multi-chain world.
So we're announcing our strategic collaboration, obviously, at the summit this weekend. Perhaps you can just tell us a little bit more about why you want to get involved with Cardano's ecosystem.
We have a tremendous amount of respect for the Cardano ecosystem. I think there's a tremendous amount of respect, obviously, for the technical team behind Cardano, IOG, and so on, but also for the collaborative nature of the community as well. So I think there's a tremendous amount of respect between the Chainlink and Cardano ecosystems. Secondly, obviously, a lot of this comes down to timing. Cardano obviously has had a extended period where we've had different drops of upgrades over time. And I think obviously the most recent is Alonzo, really about enabling smart contracts. So for us, this is really about the right time to engage with the Cardano ecosystem and really a coming together of what is a very highly technically able and powerful platform like Cardano, and also bringing together Chainlink, which is really built to enable smart contracts via that off-chain data in particular.
And what do you hope you expect the community to see as a result of this collaboration?
Well, I think it's important to understand as we embark on this collaboration as well that the idea of integrating Cardano and Chainlink is a non-trivial matter. So, I always like to say that when we interact and when we complete an integration with a particular chain, it's a very high hurdle to meet. We have very high security, reliability, and scalability standards for every integration that we do. And so just as a mental model for folks in the Cardano ecosystem to imagine what we're trying to build here in terms of an integration is something that will enable, for example, hundreds of billions of dollars of TVL to be secured on the Cardano ecosystem, particularly in the DeFi space. So I think that's firstly an important point to kind of note. I think the second point that's really quite important as well in terms of our collaboration is that Cardano has a whole range of unique features that have been built, obviously for very specific reasons, but that obviously are key aspects that we need to kind of work through at a technical level. But we feel really confident that with a strong collaboration between the IOG technical team as well as the Chainlink Labs technical team, that we're actually very well placed to surmount some of those challenges and some of those hurdles and actually build a very, very robust and highly reliable and highly scalable integration between Cardano and Chainlink. And so what users can expect when this is ready, and we'll obviously provide updates as things progress, but really a two-stage process. The first is a testnet that will be made open to users to particularly deploy in a safe testnet environment some of those crypto price feeds. So the users can start to figure out how those add value to the dApps that they're building. And secondly, once mainnet integration launched, what is very likely that users will get access to is a whole range of crypto price feeds, then followed by a whole range of additional other services like more esoteric data feeds, whether it's weather data, whether it's sports data or whatever it may be that's in demand in the Cardano ecosystem. And then some of those other services that I mentioned, verifiable randomness, keepers, and perhaps other services that are demanded by users in the Cardano ecosystem. But those will continue to be added to and as part of the collaboration.
Nicky, exciting times ahead. Thanks very much for joining us at the Cardano Summit.
Thank you, Jim.
Hi everyone, I'm John O'Connor, Director of African Operations at Input Output, and today we have Marcos Lemma, who is the CEO and founder of Ice Addis. How are you doing today, Marcos?
Hi, John. Very good, very good. Thank you very much, and thank you for having me for this conversation.
Fantastic. So today, I'd like to talk a little bit through some other things that we're working on together. So maybe for the people watching, why don't we start with a little bit of information about who iSadis is, and how we started working together.
So thank you very much. And iSadis is like established in 2011 as the first Ethiopian tech incubator and accelerator organization, and we're very like Pan-African by heart. Our mission is like to create entrepreneurship ecosystem across different markets. Our target is in East Africa, but we also have like operations in other markets as well. We always say we're amplifying startups and amplifying founders who wants to build the next, the next products that can fly. But also, like, we are working with high potential early stage startups. So we're really trying to identify companies early enough, and by providing structural business development service, we help them to grow and to become bigger companies. So that's really our mission. We are community oriented, so everything we do, we're trying to source talent and ideas from our community, and we've been like building tech communities for a long time. Bringing the idea of startup and tech communities to the Ethiopian ecosystem, and we're also promoting like African innovation and startup ecosystem to the global audience. So that's us in a nutshell. And we've been working with several companies so far. Like we've been incubating for 3 companies, accelerating 31 companies, and this year 2021 we celebrated our 10 years anniversary. So it's been a fun journey.
Fantastic. So one of the areas which we're working on together is over incubation and support for Catalyst startups. So for people who don't know, Catalyst is the world's largest decentralized fund. It provides unrestricted funding towards startups and projects that put their proposals onto the Catalyst platform, and ADA holders across the world get to vote on which projects get funded. So as we start to see some of these companies winning these proposals on the Catalyst, Marcos, you're also going to be providing acceleration and support for the winning proposals. Maybe you can walk us through what that means exactly. What would it look like for a company after they've won the proposal and you start to work with them on this acceleration work? Walk us through that, please.
Thank you very much. Yeah, this is like one of the exciting times. Since we're introduced to the Catalyst program, I think like we're very fascinating, like how this is extremely community oriented, extremely decentralized, and very fascinating. So it's a great privilege that we have a chance to work on this. So the idea is, we have this ideas are being voting, and it's growing exponentially, like the number of like people who are actually getting funded through this program. And if we're looking at like some of these ideas, even a lot of these projects funded from Africa, they have actually a market viability potential. So we can enable them to commercialize them into the next step. So it goes beyond the funding, that we can have a structural follow on those ideas, and some of these products can be pushed into the market and actually have viability. So now we're planning to scout from the program, which actually has a market value. So going through the diagnostic phase. Once we go through the diagnostic phase and the scouting, and we put the selected ideas and like for our conversations, like this become startups, right, into an incubation and acceleration programs. And the first cohort is going to be 50 selected tech startups as first cohort is going to be selected. and they will go through different series of workshops, boot camps, and mentors who are quite experienced in the market and also experienced in the sector, in the blockchain and the entire value chain. So we want to basically bring in the business development service to the Catalyst program. So this is going to be the first attempt to do that, and hopefully some of these projects funded by the program will be out commercially, and we're gonna benefit thousands, if not millions, of people across Africa.
One of the things that I'm really excited by is that for the Cardano ecosystem, we're starting to build a journey for what a startup goes from initial proposal on Catalyst to having incubation and acceleration services provided by Addis, and trying to get them to a stage where they're investable and ready also to be able to start doing real things in the real world. So one of the announcements that we have for this conference is we'll be launching a $6 million Input-Output Africa venture capital fund, which is going to be focused on investing in these early stage companies. So they can win an unrestricted grant from Catalyst, and then they go through the acceleration services, and then afterwards there's a pot of money available for us to be able to do equity investments in these companies and help them grow. So this is really exciting to me, and in the future we're hoping to build a lot of this journey directly into the Catalyst program, so it handles all parts of it. So one thing which was exciting, Marcos, is after you've done this first round of 50 companies, you guys are actually going to be applying on Catalyst yourselves in order to be able to receive funding to do a further cohort of companies. So tell me a bit more about that, Marcos. This whole idea of bringing everything in platform and actually making acceleration services a competitive marketplace for even companies like you on the Catalyst program.
So I think this is quite a natural progress, right? Thank you very much, John, for informing about that. I think this is, for you guys, to really bring in a more systematic support for these funds is, as a second step, was very interesting. For us, looking at the entire decentralized selection process, one of the things fascinating about this is you can bring in this proof of concept track record to the community, and going through the same decentralized way to get selected by the communities themselves. In one hand, it's actually giving us some sort of approval in that process, but also we have quite good number of companies who wants to actually get the support ongoingly. So kind of really by voting in the proposal in the Grow African, Grow Cardano challenge, basically I said this as an incubator will also benefit by being in that decentralized selection process. So I think this is quite exciting, but also I think it's new in this approach. So let's see how actually that's gonna transform some of our service provision for our beneficiaries.
Okay, brilliant. So we've talked a bit about the acceleration services that you'll be providing. We've talked a bit about the different capital pots of capital available. First of all, Catalyst, and then secondly, the IO Africa venture capital vehicle. But let's talk a little bit about how you start growing the deal flow, growing the inbound funnel. How do people learn more about Cardano? How do people get excited and start thinking about the types of companies that they want to build? And for me, this comes on to the community strategy. So ICE has a second contract to also help us with community management across the continent. So yeah, maybe you can talk a little bit more, Marcos, on what this means, what kind of community events we'll be looking to run, and also how people can learn more and get involved.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think that's quite interesting because on one hand, we're talking about the pipeline. So by developing communities, we can actually increase much more participation in the Catalyst program, so that like more community members will hear about it, and also like will be encouraged to apply. So it's going to be kind of closing the circle. But on the other hand, like we are being the Pan-African company. We've been on the ground, on the market for a long time, as an African company. One of the things like we've seen is like having a community activities will actually like determine some of these ideas to come forward. So as Cardano, communities in Africa, we know that there's already exciting projects are coming in through the Catalyst program. There's already like so many people are engaging through the efforts of like IO and other activities. So we want to take this one actually like a little bit further, right? So one of the thing is like to provide network across Africa. First, we're going to work in selected six countries, and then we're going to expand into 14 countries as the next phase. The idea is like to set up community meetups and also working with Cardano ambassadors within the country and providing like networking opportunities for them. So what does it mean? It's like for us having like this wide network in African market, we want to tap into that, and primarily we're going to work with innovation hubs which are mushrooming across Africa in the last few years. Basically, the innovation hubs will be benefited from this collaboration because we're going to basically enable tech communities with Cardano, as well as we're going to help to co-create kind of local solutions for local problems, and as well as creating different events and networking opportunities within the innovation hub environment. So this is going to be basically working very closely with this already existing infrastructure. But also we're targeting developers, right? For developers, they're going to get firsthand support, technology updates. They're going to get educational resources which already exist, and also in the future getting some expert support, as well as employment opportunities in the future. So we're really looking at a diverse community of innovation hubs, developers, business experts, policymakers to engage in a very informal setup so that we can grow the community. So in one hand, it's really helped the community to come together and create new ideas. But we know that if we bring in smart people together, they always create the next innovation, the next frontier, right? So we're hoping to see so many good products to be built on the Cardano ecosystem coming out of the communities that we're going to work on in the next few months and few years to come.
Yeah, and this reminds me, a company I've been speaking to recently, Empower, who are working on leveraging crypto liquidity to actually build sustainable homes in the continent. They actually met through the Catalyst program. The founders were just regularly voting on proposals, and they got talking, and now there's a fantastic company which has emerged out of that sort of community and cross-pollination idea. So this is something that we're really excited about, is trying to bring communities together. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the potential for Africa and the potential for growth stories. So there's been a lot of stuff in the news recently over some big raises being done by Nigerian payments companies, and I'm starting to feel that the speed at which we're hearing these stories, companies raising $200 million on plus $1 billion valuations, it seems to be happening more and more frequently. First of all, do you agree? And maybe you can give some more context on where you think this will take us and what's sort of in store on the Africa tech scene over the next 5 years.
Yeah, John, it's time for Africa. I think it's I really strongly believe that if the next big thing doesn't come out of Africa, there will be no big thing, I think there's a lot of potential here, a lot of young people coming together in our community. And, blockchain gives a wing for our African economy. So as you rightfully said, there are so many already basic infrastructure, which is actually like provided by Cardano when we talk about identity platforms, when we talk about DeFi's and all that kind of stuff, will actually like be the basis for the next innovation, the next emerging technologies coming in. And we know that African can leapfrog in this aspect. I think, if we look in Ethiopia, with Cardano identity and educational projects, but also beyond that, we can leapfrog some of the systems actually developed somewhere else. We can be, the next champion. So in that regard, I think there is a lot of potential. Blockchain as a technology itself, it's been like in the center of attention in many tech communities already in Africa. There's like a much more like capital is flowing into, FDI is increasing. There are more, not just only impact investors, but also like several different kind of investors are actually like eyeing in African markets right now. It's a growing, young, innovative, it's motivated market. So I think if someone doesn't really think about Africa as their market, I can tell them already that they are missing out.
Yeah, and one of the opportunities I think within the African context is actually employment opportunities for freelance developers. So one of the challenges in the technology communities often is that there's not enough companies hiring in your market. If you're in Addis Ababa, there's not enough technology companies who are hiring for trained developers. So as a result, it's difficult to gain the value out of your skill set. As we shift more towards this globalized world, I think opportunities for people to work from Addis, doing work for a company in the US or the UK, they increase. And this is where we've seen Andela become so successful. So on the input-output side, now that we've got Plutus launched, we have smart contracts finally available, we're really keen to help grow these developer ecosystems. And that starts with the Plutus training course, which will be running in Q1 of next year in Ghana. But what I wanted to ask you, Marcos, was what would be your piece of advice for developers in the markets that we're talking about to gain expertise, to gain credibility, and hopefully to achieve employment? Whether it's local or working for an international company. What would your words of wisdom be?
There are so many opportunities in terms of like jobs are created in different markets, and we know that by having enabling technology, a lot of young developers and upcoming like developers as well, they can target markets beyond their small circle, right? And actually like this is like kind of cross market as well, because there is so many collaboration opportunities actually are there. I think one of the things, like for instance, we see like developers in Ethiopia, for instance, there is a tendency to only like focusing on a project specifically for local challenges, which is great because we need local solutions for local problems. But at the same time, like now we have this opportunity to compete in the global market. As long as we have internet, right? Like we have extremely opportunistic, like to really compete with the counterparts in Asia, counterpart in Europe, counterpart in North America, and bring in jobs to these countries, bring in like more foreign currency to these countries, and also in the same time creating this collaborative work. So I think having this kind of like solid base technology. I mean, when we talk about like Cardano, we're not only talking about like just one-faced activity, right? I mean, it's the application is limitless, and what we can build on this is like limitless. And then the people actually have access to that basic technology. People want actually access to internet, access to mobile phones, access to smart contracts. They can actually like build those projects and create jobs for themselves. I think this is also like something in the heart of like a lot of African governments right now. Job creation is like probably one of the biggest agenda. At least I know for sure, like in Ethiopia, that's the biggest agenda, because there is so many young people are there, and then majority of the demographic are, like in Ethiopia, for instance, like the average is like 15, 17 years old. So there are more people coming in to the job market, and then if we're gonna create that, kind of tap into that talent and create more jobs, and I think from the government side also, like, this is a very critical policy direction that we look into. So yeah, absolutely, like, there are so many potential in that regard. We just need to we need to work more on that.
Fantastic. Okay, Marco, so maybe final question, which is, maybe you want to tell people a little bit more about the Cardano Summit event that you're going to be hosting in Addis Ababa, 25th of September, which is probably where anyone's watching this. So yeah, please, just maybe if you can talk a little bit more about what you guys are doing in Addis to sort of support this event.
I think it's exciting time. We had like the Cardano Africa special. I'm sure some people still remember what happened last time, the big Ethiopian announcement. I think it's still fresh memory. So I think it's gonna be continuity of that. And now we have the incubation program we're gonna do as a catalyst in community activities. So it's time to tell, like, our friends, like, we're gonna host these activities upcoming, and then we're gonna host actually the next week plans in 2 different venues in Addis Ababa. So if someone wants to join, please already register in the meetup in the Cardano Summit Addis Ababa link. So we're gonna talk about these things we're talking now with John. We're gonna expand them more. We're gonna have a panel discussions, and we also have some speakers. And of course, the general summit, we're gonna show live videos and so on. So this is an exciting time, but this is not just a one-time thing, obviously, right? This is gonna continue. We're gonna have continuous discussions with local developers, with local talent, with policymakers in the next weeks, the next months to come. And I'm excited about it, and this collaboration as well. Thank you very much.
Fantastic. So brilliant. We've covered the acceleration work that ISADIS will be doing for the Catalyst ecosystem. I think we've covered the new venture capital funds, which IO is launching specifically to focus on Africa. Also the community event, which you're going to be running across the continent for us. So thank you very much, Marcos. Thanks for coming on the show today. And look forward to seeing you in all of these various different countries that we'll be working in together.
Thank you very much. Exciting times.